different. This is magnificent, man. And I like this. I enjoyed myself to the fullest, and I can't wait to come back on. I can't wait to see it, see more of the people on here.
And it's also wonderful to hear people talk sanely to each other today.
I mean, yes, pain is inevitable. I mean, there's a reason we have these sensors in our body. I mean, they're warning signs. In other words, something hurts. Obviously, something is amiss.
That's the standard, especially on film. When the film, the cameras weigh in on your soul. If you commit to not putting crap out there, you can actually make a difference.
And we're just beginning to unlock and comprehend the true nature of the universe, in my humble opinion. And we still have no definitive proof that life exists outside of our solar system.
And I would ask him to come with me back to early 2023 to save my son's life.
My father passed away. She's an only child. Her mother had passed away. She didn't have any family. And she asked me to walk her down the aisle. That's the part that changed. It's just that cruel moment of when you realize there is no hope. That tears at me, but it doesn't tear at me anymore because there was hope. I hung on just long enough to come out the other side. And here I am. Look at me, all beautiful and stuff.
But now you're going to bring your garbage and war out into space. Well, we're not going to let that happen.
The high tide's going to come. You're not going to be able to overcome at least what technology has created.
And they were rebuilding that country at a cost.
Their truth is the truth that we imbue in them to be kind, to be civil.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm not all the names that the kids were calling me on the playground. I was dyslexic. It was a recognition.
Sure. Continue to work as hard as you can, because by working, Avi, you will keep yourself busy and get used to the grief. The grief will build up. Two people, two different stories.
It was a life-changing moment because I was no longer allowing myself to be a victim.
Another trio of questions, now more underrated. We have Billy D. Williams, Italian men named Skippy, or unicycle.
I'm sorry, Italian men named Skippy. Put me away, Abby. That's
Archie Bunker, the mountain climber, Ralph Cramden, the yoga instructor, or Don Corleone, the computer repair person.
It's clearly an issue with the hard drive.
I'm going to go Don Corleone.
The bed actually looks like a bed. ED. If you think about it, lasagna is just spaghetti-flavored cake. I don't know. Have we ever thought about this? That the object of golf is to play the least amount of golf. Think about it. That's golf in a nutshell.
Yep. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where I went around, I visited all the adults first in the cancer, the Stony Brook University Cancer Center, and then I visited the children. And I would say the adults were at least as enthused and joyful to see Santa. And
Mr. Ventura, I said, I don't know if you remember me. He says, of course, Jacques Rougeau, I remember you, the Rougeau brothers, And when he said that to me, it was like, holy shit.
I got a chance to get to know Joe Weeda. Joe was like a second father to me. He took me under his wing. He introduced me to art. He introduced me to history.
I had a blast. I want to dance with somebody.
There we go.
I'll do it.
I do too right now, guys and gals. And
when you say videotape, I'm gonna say it once again to all Jake's peoples, all them Braves fans. Hey, y'all, appreciate y'all. I love you and keep rooting for them Braves.
But I was going, Tom, Don, I'm a true fan. Yo, I never watched all of your movies through, Tom, because they scared the crap out of me. Love y'all, man.
Pleasure. Great to meet you. It's great to meet you too, Trent.
Avi, you did a great job.
Amos.
Man, what an introduction. I hope I can live up to that. God bless you.
I welcome a power player and businessman, last name Rosenthal, first name Steve.
Avi, you are unbelievable.
No, please.
That was one of the best introductions I've ever had in my entire life. It was better than my bar mitzvah.
Welcome this man, last name Davidson, first name Tommy.
Nice. Now, I think that's the best intro I've ever had.
Oh, I appreciate that, my friend.
Grab your mommy. Here's Tommy.
Did you have a nice time tonight in the green room?
I had a great time. I can't tell you how refreshing it is that somebody knows what they're doing.
Avi is a poet, but he doesn't know it, but his feet show it.
You're unbelievable.
You're here to win this whole tournament.
Oh, absolutely. I'm here to kill it. I'm here to kill it.
Robert, would you like to win this entire tournament?
You know, all those luminaries and athletes and strongmen notwithstanding, the most dangerous place on this show is between me and that prize. That's all I'm going to say.
I am here to destroy people, to win, put up the rhymes that make things say that be so kind, and then hit you in the butt, because I'm ready to win this all. It's all about me going to Greece with my wife and my family and having a great time. Let's win this. Let's win this.
Oh, are you here to win the whole darn tournament?
I don't play. I just win.
There are those of us who like to venture to the unexplored, to see the beauty in the strange and unknown. Those of us who go out there with a sense of wonder. It's the magic of risking everything for a dream that nobody sees but you.
Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the shadow of the shade. Yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me, unafraid. God, it matters not how straight the gate, how punishment charged the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. And when they fly away, the part of you that knows it was a sin to lock them up does rejoice. Let me tell you about a voice. The one that whispers. It tells me what's right and what's not, when to leave and where to go. It's not Shakespeare. It does not speak in memorable lines. My inner voice always gives it to me straight. Tells me who my real friends are, when to say yes, when to say no. Whether the person sitting next to me is the one I'll be spending the rest of my life with.
You already know that dedication, hard work, and perseverance gives positive results.
Let your instincts guide you.
Your 15 minutes are up. You better start thinking of something else. What else to do? What do I want to do? I was picked a day that I was going to go to the Taxi and Limousine Commission to try and get my license. And the day before I decided to go, I got a call from my agent. Paul Newman is casting, wants to see you. Getting a job is like having money in your pocket. If you got it, you can get it. Strangely enough, so this was in September. By October, I had a TV job, an off-Broadway show. I was directing a play, and I was going to be in January going to do this movie. It was called Harry and Sons. Go figure. What would you do if you weren't an actor? If you didn't make it as an actor, what would you do? I have no idea. I would act somewhere, because I'll die if I don't.
Of the Basketball Hall of Fame and one of the NBA's top 50 players. And I'm really excited to tell you about my new relationship in the broadcasting world with the new network.
It's TKN, and a young man named Avi Klein has poured his blood, sweat, and tears into creating this new network and assembling an amazing group of individuals to co-host shows with him throughout the network, covering everything you can imagine. He's assembled artists, authors, film entertainers.
Legends from every walk of life who are just bringing their knowledge and their experience and their wisdom, and this is amazing. Like in a day and age when our airwaves are just completely oversaturated with false narratives, with social media futility, with craziness, Avi just is I feel like this is a cosmic convergence of what is most important to him, and he's such a stand-up guy.
Here, but with a very warm heart for Avi and thanking him for all the work he's put into creating the new network. For me, I have just a teeny part of this in terms of having a program that's based on storytelling, where I get to share some of my stories with you.
I can't even imagine how hard Avi Klein worked. He tells me he gets 4 hours of sleep a day, and I actually believe that, because Avi is so passionate, he works so hard, and he created a show for 56 people.
And tune into Avi's network because there's a lot of jewels that we're going to uncover.
I'm going to be tagging up again with my great friend and tag team partner, Avi Klein, for Breaking the Ice, which will be just one show out of many, many that are part of the new network.
He's very respectful, and he really connects with the artists and his audiences. And I felt like this guy's on to something, and I'm proud to be a part of this with him.
Avi, congratulations. I don't know anybody that can talk as much as you. Seriously, I thought I could talk. You are unreal. But you do it with class, understanding, professionalism. You're simply amazing. I told you that when I first met you. And you ran off my autobiography. It basically was a book. It was simply fantastic. And to think that you do that every show.
The thing is, you put out a stage out here. You give us a floor to go on of competition, and everybody can relate to having competition.
I just think it's going to be, a lot of fun for people. I don't think people like this on the air. I don't think really. No, there isn't. I just think it's going to be I'm very interested in how people respond to it, because I know it's going to be interesting and see if people tune in and stay tuned in, and I really hope they do. And I'm all yours, bro. Let's go out and make this work. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
Love you, Tom. Love you guys and gals and pals, and I love the luminaries who are back right now. They're behind the scenes waiting to pop in. They're going to enter this virtual arena really quickly. But guys and gals and pals, no soapbox. All I'm going to tell you right now is if you are tired of being ostracized, this is the place to be, because we keep all that negative riffraff and controversy. If you like conversation over controversy, this is the place for you. We do edutainment, and it's philosophically fun, guys and gals. You can have fun and learn at the same time. What a concept. If only my former principal understood that. Industrial-sized air conditioners at your favorite B&B in Alaska would be rendered obsolete after witnessing that intro, because we're all fired up. That much is a fact. You've all experienced luminary after luminary. Enter this virtual arena. Indeed, this tournament is stacked. I dubbed this vision of mine edutainment because I place emphasis on entertainment and education. Because on this station, we celebrate those that are passionate about their vocation. And this format is anything, guys and gals, but the same old, same old. So I thank you for embracing this innovation and expressing your constant elation when talking in the most star-studded tournament of them all. One must mention that competitors convey their level of admiration while we marvel at the information, passion, and perspiration when observing this wide array of talent that makes up the population of strong-minded thinkers that enlighten us, which is why I subscribe to conversation, because listening and applying is how we get to our destination. We're all so much closer than we are apart, which is why this show offers a demonstration of what's right about us as a society. So for the new viewers out there who have a fascination, sit back and enjoy as I put a cap on this verbal dissertation, if you will. Let's keep doing what we do. Let's realize that our motto isn't a Sherlock Holmes mystery. A legendary director of Superman fame, my mentor, Richard Donner, told me years ago, write your own history. Teaching history and screenwriting for the very best was one thing. Sharing your history is an honor, guys and gals. So let's sit back and realize what we've witnessed here in this tournament, oh so grand, where as of tonight, 131 Hall of Famers from the world of sports, music, pro wrestling, not to mention Oscar, Grammy, Emmy, Tony, Golden Globe, AMA, WJ, and Olympians all competing for the pride and the prize, but it's not merely the size. Guys and gals, the winner will own this land as we discover and rediscover our humanity through open dialogue and expand. So be prepared to give a hand to competitors that are about to work their sweat gland. All the while, our attention they command with $15,000 and a 5-day and 5-night trip to Greece on the line. One can't forget about the pride and the prize. So with that, let's all rise and reprise our roles as educational voyeurs that never chastise or agonize, but rather revel in our beautiful reality without needing a disguise. Here on this network, where we're allergic to lies. The bard Shakespeare once said, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." So if you love something, then don't hate others that do, because doing is the sweet nectar that is most rewarding. Take a moment to breathe, admire your desire to aspire, because if you don't, life will be but a blur. Of this I'm sure. So never hate the flower for starting out as a seed. Long distance running is never, guys and gals, a stampede, so don't run anyone over on your way to the top. Focus on yourself and never forget to cheerlead. Root for your loved ones and lift people up. This human fortune cookie hopes that we've all agreed that positivity is something we can never concede. So with that, let's bring in, guys and gals, our very first participant tonight. They're going to find out who they're facing in round 2. This is the second round reveal show, part 2. Part 1 was last week. What a roster. Lou Ferrigno, Rick Barry. We saw all the luminaries. We had over 50 to 60 guests. They were all here. They found out who they're facing. And now the second half. We had a show so big last week, we couldn't even reveal the entire second round lineup. We're going to do so tonight, guys and gals. We're going to crack open some of these envelopes over here, as you can see, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be all random. Some matchups will be 4 ways, where it'll be 4 people. And again, in a 4-way, 3 advance out of 4 to the next round. If there's a 3-way match, 2 advance to the next round. There's 6 rounds in total. I've put more number 3 cards in this bowl than number 4 cards, so there might be a lot of 3-way matchups. Guys and gals and pals, to know wisdom is to experience humility. To avoid the stumble and fumble and bumble in life, we must first know the meaning of the word humble. Our next participant is kind, and he's a talented artist that can karatify any of us. His positive energy is a constant. You'll never hear him fuss. If you're feeling down, he'll lift you up with his expressions and mojo. If you want to build yourself up, take a look and step inside his dojo. He's here to win it all, and soon he'll find out who will face in round 2. You'll see. So welcome in the green room, OG and brother. Last name Sparling. First name Jamie. Jamie, welcome, my friend, to the second round reveal show, part 2.
Brother, thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate you so much. What I have learned thus far on this journey of the new network, it's just mind-boggling, and I sincerely appreciate you, Avi.
Appreciate you. You've taught a lot of people, so take a bit of that humble pie. Well, you don't need any humble pie. Guys and gals, Jamie is a humble human being, and I got to tell you, he teaches the youth. The man is a martial arts instructor and so much more, a great storyteller. Jamie, I'm going to actually put you in the back momentarily, but again, got to get this. Our new viewers want to know. Some viewers, we have a large viewership and an audience that comes in every week. They really want to know what this tournament's all about. Of course, the backdrop is 15 grand and a trip to Greece. But we learn a lot from each other. So winning this tournament means you represent something good. We learn about each other through these living room conversations. But you got to tell me, 15 grand, nothing to sneeze at, trip or 2 to Greece, nothing to sneeze at. Are you here to win it all, my friend?
Absolutely. I'm here to win it all. I'm going to take my wife to Greece. We're going to have a good time. And I'm going to learn more about myself and other human beings and have a good time while doing it. Everybody wins, but I'm not here to lose.
I love that. Love your energy, my friend. I'm going to put you backstage and bring you in momentarily. Guys and gals and pals, this gentleman who I'm about to bring in, and I'm going to ask if I can, for the luminaries in the back, you guys can unmute your microphones, and we'll bring you in and have a nice time. Appreciate that. I'm going to bring you all in momentarily. Guys and gals, our next participant is someone who found out who he's facing last week. And we're going to talk about something once the luminaries who are, again, gracing us with their presence, good friends as well, once they actually depart later on tonight, my friend is going to stick around. We're going to talk about his academy, because the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new ones. The true secret of happiness lies in taking a genuine interest in all the details of daily life. These sentiments all apply to tonight's guest, because to know him is to know his heart. In a world filled with questions, it's quite comforting to know that there are simple answers when it comes to certain people. For instance, this man's honesty, his integrity, his word, his passion and compassion. There are no questions when it comes to all of the above, because he's a quality human being. His courage is consistent. You can rely on it like a Michael Jordan free throw. Helping kids who have been bullied is his canvas, more beautiful than any Van Gogh. He's in the second round of this star-studded tournament, where he'll be sure to bring the gusto. All of you watching, bring his name up, and rightly so. He's a friend that I appreciate fully, as his class is something we always seem him bestow. He's sincere and genuine, and can make you laugh like a mid-90s Ray Romano. They know his name around the world, from Glasgow to Monaco to Kosovo to Moscow. Even in the wintertime, his smile can melt the snow. So why don't you all grab a gyro and a glass of Merlot? That may not be a good combo, but regardless, I can tell you that you're all feeling quite gun-ho, as his impact is quite the presence, like Arnold kicking butt in Commando. Who am I bringing in? The mystery will soon be history. In a second, you'll know. You all might have figured it out. This isn't a whodunit like Hitchcock's Vertigo, so get up and enjoy this ride like a Texan in a rodeo. Have you put the pieces together and figured it out like a common game of dominoes? All the love to overflow as this Scorpio welcomes back a legend of a human being. First name Jacques, last name Rougeau. Welcome, my friend.
You know what, Abby? I gotta tell you something. I thought on my career, I thought that Jimmy Hart was the best manager of all times. But I think that's the first time in my life I'm gonna have to say I think you do better than him. You're just amazing, because First of all, I got to tell you, while you're doing all these intros and I'm listening to it, you're bringing my self-esteem much higher than I should about myself. I feel, no, I swear, Andy, I swear, because everybody has dark secrets. Everybody has, you know what I mean? We're trying to be nice and we're trying to win this contest and everybody's doing their effort, but you make us look so good. You hide our bad sides.
No, but it's no secret. You were saying secrets, but it's no secret that you are literally every day talking to people who have been bullied. You're going to schools. You're making a difference. It's your passion. You experienced a lot of that in the locker room, as you've told the world as well. You're making a difference in everyone's lives, and we know that.
But Avi, I'm just doing what anybody else would do. I'm not doing anything better. I was victim of bullying in the WWF, a very serious case, and I managed to get out of it. I managed to survive. So for me, it was just when everybody thought I was a nice guy because I was going in schools for 25 years to help them out with bullying situations. I wasn't a nice guy. I was just doing therapy for myself. It was just like every time I spoke to the kids, when I walked out of a school and I had one or two kids come up to me and say, "Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Rougeau. And now I'm so happy now that you talked to the principal and you talked to the guy who was bullying me, and now I feel so great." And for me, it was like giving me hope. And that it was just it was helping me. I was being selfish. So everybody thought I was a nice guy, but I wasn't a nice guy.
No, you're a nice guy. And here's the litmus test.
I was saving myself, Abby. I was just saving myself.
I'll tell you, here's the litmus test. If someone were to mute this show right now and watch us muted, it would take 5 seconds for them to know that you're a great stand-up guy. Even if you're muted, 5 seconds. That's body language, brother. You are a great human being. And I'm not going to wrestle you for it because you'll kick my butt. But trust me, you're a great human being.
But thank you so much for the kind words. And you know what? And like others were saying, I listened to your intro. I love Morgan Freeman. I love when he speaks. He's always been my hero. He's got such a pleasing voice. It's so nice to hear him. But everything you do, Avi, you don't know what you're doing right now. And like people are saying, we're in an era where haters, where negativity rules the world. Everybody looks at the dirt. And for you to create something so amazing that when I watch your show, and that's why I'm here tonight, because I was chosen last week. I know who I'm facing the next show, the next round. But I wanted to be here again because every time I listen to every individual that comes on your show, they teach me something in life. I see something in life that makes me a better person.
I love that. And I concur, and they've said the same about you. My friend, I'm going to bring in the rest of the great talent we have here alongside yourself and bring you back in momentarily.
Thank you. Thank you, Abby.
Absolutely, my friend. The great Jacques Rougeau. You are right. Absolutely. This is, I think, from DJ Solo. True, Jacques is a gem. He is a gem without question. Guys and gals, a lot of gems here. Again, I will implore all you guys and gals to share away, let everyone know what we're doing. And if you can, guys, I think it's just unmute your microphones in the back if you can, my friends, because I'm about to bring you all in. You can unmute. Right now, guys, our next participant is a highly intelligent and talented human being. Her down-to-earth nature and authentic self is a breath of fresh air. She has broken barriers and worked tirelessly and has never let her dreams remain asleep. She runs the day rather than letting the day run her. She is fearless in the pursuit of what sets her soul on fire. She was born in Glendale, California, and grew up in Arizona. Years later, she would inspire the masses like the Dream Team in Barcelona or Juliet turning heads in the streets of Verona. She began her career when she was 8 years old, filming close to a dozen television commercials. For many kids, this meant no Little League, but rather a bevy of auditions and rehearsals. She was always a ham as a kid and had no fear when she was 7. She told her mom that she wanted to get into acting. Good for her, as her passion is never distracting. As human beings, we're always adapting. Like an extroverted chameleon on ice, spitting rhymes. Admit, that would have you reacting. Her mom took her seriously, and she got her a manager, and that manager then got her an agent. But the neon lights didn't initially scream gold. She auditioned 300 times a year and did 9 national commercials when she was just 8 years old. First commercial was a Japanese cookie commercial with Karen Grassel, who was the mom in Little House on the Prairie. Her mom said, "You got me into this, so keep me going." As her second commercial was a Tonka Toys commercial called State Fair-y. She was learning the craft while most kids were picking their nose watching Tom and Jerry. She also did a Squeeze It drink commercial, and in case you're wondering, she grew up on a ranch and was a barrel racer, but she was built for the marathon as her future was anything but bleak. She was a constant on Bob Eubanks Card Sharks during Young People's Week. What am I speaking, guys and gals? Greek, see what I did there? But she might if she wins this tournament, as she has the technique, like the 85 dunk contest won by the legendary Dominique. She won the title of Miss California preteen in 1988 and debuted in a guest starring role in the comedy Living Doll starring Halle Berry. Soon her face would be on magazines worldwide, opposite others such as Tiffany Thiessen and Luke Perry. She appeared on Blossom, Step by Step, Boy Meets World, but her first big guest spot was on The Wonder Years. In September of 92, she landed a particular role that inspired the one and only Britney Spears. That of the pop singing guitar playing surfer Tiffany Smith on the NBC Saturday morning teen comedy California Dreams, which took off like This Flow or the 21st emergence of crypto. It was about a high school beach band, and she was on for 5 seasons of this particular show. She went on to Baywatch for 2 seasons as a regular cast member, and during her time on Baywatch as April Gaminsky, she was the spokesperson for the show's shoe line. She's all about her family and is an animal lover, which speaks to yours truly, Avi Klein. Whether it was her role on Baywatch, which was always on the telly, or publications which were sold in newsstands at your local deli, her impact has been huge, like a certain character written by Mary Shelley. So get ready, look up, put those snacks in your belly, and raise the roof like an early 21st century Nelly, and welcome a kind, humble, positive human being. Last name Packard, first name Kelly. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. God, I swear I just want to take you with me everywhere. Announce me every time I walk into a room.
Well, out of all the stuff you've done, and you've done so many great things, if there was one project that you were associated with that people always acknowledge you on a day-to-day basis, which one is that, Kelly?
Ironically, I think it's California Dreams over Baywatch, which is really interesting because obviously Baywatch was huge, seen in, by 1.4 billion viewers, but it was always Dreams that I get recognized.
Sure. Yeah, and again, such a great diverse resume. Love how you put your family first. Love everything that you do day to day. But Kelly, you had an amazing time last time. You really enlightened us with a lot of stories. Thank you, by the way. You went really deep. I would ask you the same question. 15 grand, trip for 2 to Greece. Here to win the whole thing?
Oh, absolutely. I am dying to go to Greece. I've been blessed to travel a bunch, and at the top of my list is Greece. So I am out to get this, make it easier to get there.
I love that. I love that. Kelly, my friend, I'm so happy you're here with us. In a moment, you'll find out who you're going to be on screen with for round number 2. I will bring you back momentarily, my friend.
Sounds good. Thank you, Avi.
Absolutely, guys. The great Kelly Packard, a great human being as well. I am about to bring in our next participant right now. As soon as I see him in front of the camera, I will bring in this gentleman who is an incredible human being. Here we are. We're here and we're put on earth to enjoy ourselves, as my next guest said, and he did just that. Life is a song, sing it. Life is a game, play it, and life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a dream, so realize it. Life is a sacrifice, offer it, and life is love, enjoy it. We must believe that we're the best so that we can provide the very best unto others as well. When fatigue sets in, we truly find out who we're and what we're made of. It's a word called pressure, and it's great because pressure allows us to experience it. The 2 most powerful warriors are patience and time. Teach them not to procrastinate and become complacent and watch them work for you. My next guest is not only talent personified, but class personified. In a world filled with smiles that fall short of being considered authentic, guys and gals, this man is as authentic as they come. This man's a guest, guys and gals, but he's a breath of fresh air, and he's also a co-host. He's as honest as they come. He's direct, positive, sincere, and embraces life. He was, guys and gals, given tools that he used to help others. And he continues to give back, as his philanthropy work never goes unnoticed. He was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, but moved to San Jose, California when he was 3. He was instilled with his competitive nature by his parents. Supreme confidence was key. While at Roy High School in Utah for his junior and senior years, he lettered in 3 sports. What an era indeed. Tough was tough, music was music, and who can forget the short shorts? As a quarterback and punter, he led his team, the Royals, to a 20-0 record in 2 years, an incredible feat. This man could throw the ball a country mile, while his leg boom punts for a 45-yard average. Put that in a tweet. He set NCAA records, including single-season records for yards of total offense, passing yards, touchdown passes, and passing efficiency, just to name a few. He took with him 70 NCAA records in total. Even as a young man, the legend grew and grew and grew. He was drafted 5th overall by the Bears in '82 and was named the NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. By '84, his Bears team weren't only defeating opponents regularly, they were kicking their butts, guys and gals, or their rear. It all came together in '85 when the closest final score any team came to the Bears was 9 points. If anyone thought they were defeating this team in '85, it might have been due to delusion, alcohol, or puffing on too many joints. He's a gridiron legend, one of the greatest of all time. When we're daydreaming of winning the big game, he was doing it full-time, in his prime. There's truth in this rhyme. He did things his way and was proud, honest, and quite a force. Will his experience assist him in this star-studded tournament? Of course, of course, and of course. He's a friend, and make no mistake, winning this entire tournament is his objective. Is he a favorite to win it all? It's no mystery. Don't buy or hiring a detective. His passes were a thing of beauty, sweet nectar that was enjoyed by the masses, set to the tune of bliss. Watching him play was a must. I'd be remiss if I didn't remind us all that his talent was something to behold, never to miss. He's since become a motivational speaker and has given back through great dedication to charities. Incredible indeed. Are you guys and gals ready for him to appear? I promise you, there's no need to beg and plead. He's one of the greatest of all time and has a wonderful personality to ensure that your day never grows grim. So welcome a legend, talent, and down-to-earth human being. Last name McMahon, first name Jim. Welcome, my friend, to the second round reveal show.
Avi, always great to hear your voice, kid, and to hear your intros. You're amazing. You're amazing. And you're right. I'm here to win it all, brother. I love Greece. It's one of my favorite countries. I can't wait to go back. So I hope I can take it all the way to the finals and end up there again.
I got to tell you, there's so many luminaries that in the first round, you advanced to round one early on. Some of the 11th hour participants, they were saying, we want to be on with Jim. Grant Fiore, your good friend. Johnny Damon. But Jim, it doesn't matter once those lights are on who you're with, right?
Not at all. I mean, everybody here is great friends, and we like to be hanging out with each other, but we all want to kick each other's butt for this tournament. That's for sure.
I love it. And guys and gals, Jim and I host a great show as well, Gym Time, which will be back starting round 2 at some point. You do a lot of great philanthropy work. You give back a ton, my friend. Getting to know you has been an amazing experience. And I got to tell you, man, there's a lot of people here that also started talking about what it'd be like to get to know the person behind the persona. Getting to know you behind Jim McMahon, the NFL player, the NFL great, has been a treat for me. So I wanted to tell you that.
It's been a treat for me to be involved with you, kid, and I look forward to our next Gym Time episode. But I'll let you introduce the rest of the guys in the green room, and I'll see you in a few minutes, I guess.
You got it, my friend. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Guys, a great human being, Jim McMahon, who does a ton. And we're going to bring in, guys and gals, another legend who does a ton for the youngsters. Our next participant has an infectious smile, and he's class personified. He has a heart of gold. And the next life in his chapter is filled with positivity, purpose, and value. He was large from birth, about 22 inches long. Makes sense for someone who dominates in the paint, as he was known to be quite strong. Throughout grade school, his shoe size advanced in lockstep with his age. By the time he hit high school, he received some advice that was definitely quite sage. Miss Watts, his 10th grade English teacher at Maury High School in North Fork, Virginia, lectured about people whose autographs meant something. Ernest Hemingway, Toni Morrison, what we bring in terms of ourselves can make anyone feel like a queen or a king. His mind would occasionally wander, and he would set about etching his name again and again. The magic of our thoughts being expressed through the underrated gift of holding a pen. During those dreamy adolescent days, he passed many an afternoon with his nephew, Damian Smith, who happens to be 2 years older. As he pulled out from beneath his bed about a dozen notebooks, it was evident that his dreams were even bolder. Damian laughed at his 13-year-old uncle before pausing to reconsider what he was implying about the future. So he asked for some autographs, about 20. 20! What a number, as when he turned 20, the amounts of smiles he helped form were quite aplenty. Speaking of 20, at his 20th birthday party, his sister Roxanne reflected on her baby brother, as he was the youngest of 7 kids. Little did anyone know that many NBA teams would want his services and were putting out bids. Eldest brother William said he was always well protected, as he basically had 6 bodyguards around his crib. That's not a rib, as it comes from family, not from some mere ad lib. He had a clear vision of his future and told his mom, Letha, of a particular plan. He would go to school for 2 years, join the NBA, and take care of her. That right there makes him a Superman. Guys and gals, Letha raised her kids alone between shifts as a maid until she earned her high school equivalency diploma and accepted a job as a medical clerk at Norfolk Naval Hospital. She did this so she can be there for her kids and be fully committal. She insisted that all her kids finish high school, and she displayed all their diplomas on what she called her proud table in the living room of 3-bedroom ranch house in Norfolk. These are the things that matter. Such attention to upbringing is what we should all soak. There was never so much room for ego in the household, and the rules for him were simple. No bizarre haircuts, no foul language, no earrings. Says Letha, I told him that the 2 holes he had in his ears were enough. This for a player that could out-tough anyone in his path as he watched his opponents huff and puff. Whenever he took the court at Maury High or at Maryland, his mother uttered a prayer. Wings on his feet, strength in his arms. He and Allen Iverson teamed up on AAU teams as they became household names that were known in big cities or small rural farms. He actually won the 17 and under national championship down in Winston-Salem when he was 17. Soon over at Maryland, his arrival will be like nothing they'd ever seen, as there was no in-between. Guys and gals, everyone could see that this man on the court was a machine. He was there with recruit Keith Booth, but this man worked like a demon because he loved the game. It wasn't about the fame, the name, or the acclaim. He became the first ACC player in the last 30 years since Billy Cunningham to average 20 points and 10 rebounds in his career and won the Naismith College Player of the Year award as a sophomore. As he walked off the court at Cole Fieldhouse after Maryland's final home basketball game, you could hear them roar. He stopped for a moment to survey the crowd, tearfully waved a couple of times, then disappeared in the tunnel leading to the locker room. Despite chance of one more year, Guys and gals, the NAB beckoned, and he was about to drop the boom. The 1995 NBA Draft. Toronto, Kevin Garnett, Rasheed Wallace, Ed O'Bannon, Damon Stoudemire, Jerry Stackhouse, legends. But only one would be selected number one. The drama was thick, and the weight on his shoulders must have weighed a ton. But there it was. David Stern called his name as he became the number one overall pick in the NBA Draft. First day of training camp when he dunked an alley-oop pass, Chris Mullin realized this rookie was a master of his craft. How about some incredible stats, guys? 16 NBA seasons, all rookie first team. December 95 and February 96, rookie of the month. Naismith College Player of the Year 95. AP Player of the Year 95. UPI College Player of the Year 95. Guys and gals, consensus first team All-American 95. ACC Player of the Year 95. These accolades are enough to make even an enemy or opponent cheer. But despite the many double-doubles, the limitless time he made our jaw drop, guys and gals, as we went, whoa, he never settled for the status quo. His heart allowed those around him to continuously grow and grow. These rhymes are my way to show how this man has done it all. Like a downtown Manhattan outdoor gyro. They know his name from here to Moscow. Let me finish these rhymes before I plateau and welcome a classy legend of a human being and talent. Last name Smith, first name Joe. Welcome, my friend.
Oh, man. What's up, Avi? Appreciate you. I don't know whether to smile or cry right now. You got me in my emotional balance off right now, man. That intro gets me every time.
Well, you deserve it, my friend. You know, again, a lot of the luminaries over here that do so much after their careers, the second part of their life, the second chapter, if you will, you're doing a lot for the youth. And that, you told me once, that's as rewarding as playing the game itself.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Just to see the smiles on their face, to see the development that they're getting and that they're gaining is always a plus for me, man. I always want to be able to give back to the community, give back to the kids, because, you know, a lot of these kids, you know, they feel like unappreciated, you know, at times. So they you know, for me to be able to give back to the kids and give back to the youth is a big thing to my heart.
Sure. And you know what? You do that consistently. Can you let everyone know again where that is? Because I know you're not going to mention, but I want everyone to understand where it is, because your camp has really helped a lot of people evolve, my friend.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's if you want to reach out, it's joesmithbasketball.com. And that's my website, and you can find everything there. And I have my schedules there for when I have events coming up, and you can register there. So joesmithbasketballacademy.com.
I love that. And we're going to display that like we did last time, but we're going to do it continuously because you do a lot for the youth. And that personally says a lot about who you are as a person, my friend. Man, 15 grand, trip for 2 to Greece, winning it all, competitive juices. Are they all there, Joe?
Man, the competitive juices don't stop. Might have retired from the game, but I'm looking forward to seeing who my next competitors are and see who I have to knock off the table.
I love that, my friend. I'm going to put you backstage for a brief moment and bring you back in.
All right, thank you.
The great Joe Smith, guys and gals. And from one great to another, I'm going to ask our friend, I think he's outside. If you can unmute your microphone, you're coming up next, my friend. I'm bringing him right in right now. I think you are outside in a passenger seat of a car, if you can hear me. So if you want to unmute, you are next, my friend. I can't wait to bring you in. There we go. A hero doesn't necessarily have to wear a cape or uniform. It's pretty cool if they do. But heroes come in all shapes and sizes. But the most important hero you can be is a hero to your kids. And there are many different ways in which this can occur. Our next participant is a man that's dedicated his life to family and to his son, Andrew. Here's a little something I'd like to express to him. You're a hero in his eyes, and he knows that he can trust you, like he knows the sun will rise. You always protected his tender heart, for he loves and appreciates his father, as he's seen you from the start. Guys and gals, he was born in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and lived there until the age of 5 when his family moved to Spokane. His parents, Terry and Bob, were Canadians by birth, and they met on a blind date. She grew up in British Columbia, he in Alberta, and when they started a family, all 5 of their children were very close. Bob was always the life of the party, and when he was around, the mood was never sullen or morose. Guys and gals, our next participants, siblings Colleen, Tim, David, and Shannon were privy to the fact that their father's word meant everything. The 7 worst things to hear if the kids were late were, "I'll talk to you in the morning." He and his brothers Tim and David would share one bedroom in the basement, and it was a great place to grow up before he became known to the world as a legendary athlete. His mother, Terry, would stand at the front door and watch her kids enter the school directly across the street. They went to Westview Elementary School, and she could decompress. As from her coach, she could watch them at recess. She went to work at the hospital each night. When her husband came home, he filled the house with his presence. Americana and a family filled with love at its very core and essence. 5 miles in 4 years separated 3 of the biggest legends of all time in their respective sport. Our legend tonight would help his team defeat another legend on the basketball court. I'm speaking of the great John Stockton, one of 3 that put Spokane on the map metaphorically, even more so than the North Pacific Railroad did late in the 19th century. Their lives intersecting like tracks in a railroad switching yard before parting, one to the east, one to the west, one to the nation's heartland. This during the days when athletes and the word camaraderie went hand in hand, unlike today when everything is a brand. The three famous athletes, guys and gals, they raced to prominence from a staggered start, playing a different game. They found themselves three different distances into their careers, wearing three different shades of fame. When he was a young boy, he loved the New York Giants. One of their main rivals was the Washington Redskins, something that all of you will find quite interesting. Legendary Redskins coach Joe Gibbs' son J.D. played with him at William & Mary, which I find fascinating. He was a three-sport athlete, and his brother Tim was a member of the Canadian national basketball team, while his brother Dave made the Canadian Olympic team and played at Gonzaga. Do you notice a theme? These three brothers had the drive and passion and worked hard on their dream. In football, he was named to the All-GSL first team while guiding his school to the GSL title as both a junior and a senior. He was truly a legend at Shadle High. Heck, while there he broke Ryan Sandberg's passing records, who happened to be an alumni. He was also a Prep All-American selection by both Parade and Carnation in his senior year. That year, he set GSL records with 423 of 849 passing for 6,460 yards and 65 touchdowns in front of a crowd that would always cheer and never disappear, as this man was always sincere and as innovative as a true engineer. In basketball, he was an all-GSL pick in a junior and senior high. During his senior year, he was an all-state, guys and gals, an all-state choice while leading Shadle as state champs. This information is vital. He's chalked up such an endless amount of accolades that one would need to pause if they were reading a subtitle. In his 2 years of baseball, he had a combined pitching record of 17-3 and was named to the All-State and All-GSL teams while leading Shadle Park to the state finals. And when all was said and done, his senior year placed him on the All-State team in three different sports, which is something that's difficult to fathom or comprehend. He also maintained a 3.3 grade point average and continued to transcend, and he was named the Hertz Athlete of the Year for Washington as we watched him continue to ascend. These statistics were absolutely incredible. He is one of the all-time greats. There is no doubt about it, guys and gals. His honors, I mean, you could talk about holding club records for 6 touchdown passes set against Atlanta in 91. We could talk about his Super Bowl MVP award. We could talk about him passing 3,768 yards in 89, the second best total ever by a Redskin quarterback. Guys, Super Bowl MVP, UPI All-NFC, All-Madden, College and Pro Football News Weekly. The man, guys and gals, is an inspiration, absolute inspiration. And bless his soul, Andrew. You are always an inspiration. He provides hope and helps families who are fighting childhood cancer through his foundation. His light blankets the dark. They're about to scream his name from Lincoln Park to Denmark. On the field, he was more ferocious than a great white shark. So put your hands together for a gem of a human being and legend. Last name Rypien, first name Mark. Welcome, my friend.
Where the heck do you find all this information from? Oh, my goodness gracious. You made me sound way better than I am. Love being a part of this, Avi.
Yes, sir.
My sweetheart and I are headed to the Boys and Girls Club event here. Just always giving back to our community and always made her cry too. So that was good.
I love that. And I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend thus far. I hope you really are, man.
Absolutely. It's always good to honor my son, Andrew, and all those kids that are, we had opportunity to visit St. Jude's Hospital about 3 weeks ago and spend some time there, watch the golf tournament. More importantly, it's my first visit ever to St. Jude's, and it was really an eye-opening situation, and it really puts things in perspective. There's a lot of people out there suffering and a lot of people doing good things like you're doing on this show. It's unbelievable to get out here and see humanity and humility and humbleness come in one, and it's just great to be a part of this. And but I'll be damned if I ain't going to try to win this thing too.
I love that. It is pretty damn cool to know that we have, again, you're one of the best luminaries we have here, like everyone backstage. And I say best because, again, what you stand for. But looking at that resume, my friend, it is mile high and then some. You've done a lot. You've accomplished a lot. 15 grand, trip for 2 to Greece. Right now, we have 131 in this tournament who are Hall of Famers, along with Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, Golden Globe, Olympians, all competing for this thing. Mark, I can't wait to see who you're going to draw momentarily. I'm going to put you backstage, bring in one more participant, and then we're all going to pop in together.
Peace. Sounds good. Thanks, Avi.
Appreciate you, my friend. Mark is a stand-up guy, guys and gals. Really is. Great human being, and that's what we have here. We have great luminaries here who stand for something. Guys and gals and pals, I want to bring in 2 gentlemen right now. 2 gentlemen. The great Miles Davis said, a painting is music, and you can see, and music is painting that you can hear. He also said, don't fear mistakes. There are none. Yours truly, Avi Klein, concurs. As I always tell my students, there are no mistakes, only discoveries. If we do not explore, we do not discover. Our next participant is class personified, and he's a man that is grand in every sense of the word, but as a human being first and foremost. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight. But I slept, toiling upward in the night. The most authentic thing about us is our capacity to create, to overcome, to endure and transform, and to love, and to be greater than our suffering, because the authentic self is the soul made visible. And my following guest is very authentic. He surrounds himself with real people that aren't impressed with the glitz and the glamour that this industry usually brings with it. He's entertained us all with his incredible works of art, both on screen, on the big screen, and the small. Perhaps none of this would have occurred had he not suffered an injury as a child playing baseball. He landed his first TV series role in I'll Fly Away, which won an Emmy for Best Drama. This was just the beginning of many incredible roles and projects, hence my use of a comma. This entire generation grew up watching him on Seventh Heaven and Party of Five, but let's mention the iconic Mallrats. He's also a teacher, a writer, and director, a man who wears many different hats, and an artist. He's humble and doesn't yearn for fame. In this game, there is no fame to aim and to be the same. A man that knows himself and doesn't cling to his name. I just bestowed 5 rhymes, but that was necessary because when describing this gentleman, guys and gals, I have to. Am I to blame? He's the man behind the driving force, guys and gals, of many positive projects, including our show, and he's immune to toxicity, guys and gals. He could be a helping hand, and he helps out all the time. This isn't some random PR moment of publicity. He has filled a plethora of blank canvases with wonderful works of art. He's played soldiers, rebels, even a preacher. He's a true jack of all trades. He's an artist, and he's a teacher. He's humble as he is wise, gifted as he is honest, talented as he is real. His work will make you feel. His passion for the craft is as solid as steel. He resonates with the masses, from wise guys named Tony to biology teachers named Neil. He teaches the craft and reminds artists not to reinvent the wheel. Are you all tired of these rhymes? Sue me, I might lose, but I'll win my appeal. Grab a drink and finish up your meal. For our fans in the UK, enjoy that last sip of tea, because you'll be smiling with glee. 2 rhymes in this bar? Now let's make it 3. Let's give it a warm welcome to the newest, guys and gals, member of the elite class, which I'll mention later on in this broadcast what that means, of the new network, an intelligent and kind man. Last name London, first name Jeremy. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, everybody. Wow, Avi, I don't know how you do it, man. It's so good. You make us all feel so good. And this always
But it's
just
easy,
reminds
Jeremy,
us.
it's easy, though, because you guys all give back. Like, it's so easy to rest on your laurels and say, I've done a lot. I've succeeded in my craft. I've done great in my vocation. But you guys keep going and keep inspiring. So it makes it easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you just remind us every time. Yeah, every time I get to do this, it just reminds me of the amazing company that I'm in, and the fact that there truly are so many good-hearted people that have, that are thinkers. And
Sure.
So this is a great project where we get to mind meld and be, like, just rise above. There's no contention. There's not politics in the sense that there's not, people one against the other. I just am inspired every time. I'm amazed every time I join on and I see the faces of the people that I get to be a part of this with. Every time, it's an honor, brother. Thank you.
It's an honor because I say things publicly. I don't really hide behind some persona or shades here, but you've always been able to give it to me real. You've been a true blessing of a friend. You're blessed in the second half of your life when you have a friend that can tell you everything you want to hear and sometimes things you don't, because it makes you better because you care. You really do care, and I appreciate that.
I do care. I do care. I never would say, anytime I reach out and, give notes of anything that I witness, is only because I believe in this so much. And, and what's amazing is that you listen and it's incredible. Today was wonderful. I loved the intro today, man. That was so cool.
Thank you, brother. Well, it's easy to listen to a great teacher like you. Guys, he won't bring it up, but I will. And throughout the broadcast, Jeremy, if you are a storyteller, his class is amazing stuff because he teaches the craft right. My friend, I have one more intro, and I'm going to bring everybody in here on screen. The great Jeremy London, guys and gals, a great human being and a great friend and a great participant. I'm going to ask him that question when I bring him back about the tournament as well. Guys, our last participant is a legend of a human being, an absolute gentleman and a scholar. In life, we don't pick up cues, we pick up impulses. Sometimes silence has a myriad of meanings. In theater, as a writer, I've always written this and told my students that silence is an absence of words, but never an absence of meaning. If silence can be our thoughts, then let the present educate us fully. The following guest is a friend and a wonderful human being. He's class personified, down to earth and genuine. He's eloquent, intelligent, and has a kind heart as well. He's more than merely his profession. He was born in Findlay, Ohio, but left soon after he was born, as his life's journey was in its first chapter. He would ascend to great heights like a Vince Carter dunk when he was a Toronto Raptor. He attended the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. He was an engineer in his freshman year before transferring to architecture. But much to our delight, he started acting in plays during his sophomore year. He did it for fun, despite the fact that it would soon become quite the career. He loved the stage and initially said no to TV, no to film, because working off-Broadway or off-Broadway was a whole lot of fun. But to the chagrin of no one, he would succeed as he was quite the go-getter. It might be lonely at the top, but the food is better. That is one of his favorite movie lines of all time. His role in the legendary Animal House is iconic. Certainly you concur with this rhyme. He played Romeo in Riverside Park. He did Streamers in New York and countless other projects that we all know. Yes, we all remember his impactful role on Seinfeld as the maestro. His commitment to the parental character in Twisted Sister's music video delivered the timeless line of, what do you want to do with your life? He wants to rock. So let's bring him in. Tell your friends, family, and coworkers, and your wife. We're about to find out who this man is. No one will be left in the dark. So welcome a talented, humble human being. Last name Metcalf, first name Mark. Welcome, my friend, to the broadcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Avi. I'm stunned. You are the greatest circus ringmaster of all time. You really whirl these words around you, and out of it comes these people who give everything they have because you asked them to. Thank you.
Beautiful. That's beautiful, and that's means a lot to me. And my friend, I've gotten to know you a little bit, and I love our conversations off screen. Just yesterday or the other day, and we talked about the arts and things that matter to us. We talked about Marion Doherty and what a great presence she was as a casting director.
Yes, she was indeed. She almost created the casting director.
Do you still, when it comes to this passion, I'm going to bring everybody in about 5 seconds, but I have to ask you this. When it comes to this lovely craft, do you feel like it's still rewarding for you on a personal level to participate in fine art that you choose to be a part of?
Yes, if you keep it just to those words, yes. If anytime I can participate in a great piece of writing with great people who are all giving it into the middle of the room to create out of airy nothing, as Shakespeare says, something of value, something that can change a person's life. I'm always willing and happy to do it. The business of acting has gotten a little out of hand, I think.
I would concur, my friend. I would ask you the same question. It would be nice if you end up winning the entire tournament and going to Greece. Also 5 days, $15,000. Doing something that, of course, is bringing out the best in humanity. That's our goal. It'd be nice to win the whole tournament, right, Mark?
It would be great to win the whole tournament. I've always wanted to go to Greece ever since I read Henry Miller's book, The Colossus of Morosi, where he traveled through Greece with, I can't remember the fellow's name who wrote the 4 quartets, Alexandria quartets. But yeah, I've always wanted to go, and it would be nice. It would be great. I hope I can win.
I hope so too. I hope that all of you
Up
guys
to
have
the
some
people, though.
Yes, and speaking of the people, my good friend, here is Jeremy London. Here is, guys and gals and pals, Mr. Jim McMahon.
Hello, sir.
Here is Kelly Packard. Here is Jacques Rougeau. Here is Joe Smith, guys and gals. Here is Jamie Sparling. And guys and gals and pals, here is Mark Rypien. Here we all are on screen here. Mark, if you want to mute my friend, we are all doing this now. Hey, I cannot wait, but I do want to shout out some people that Mark brought up. Shout out to Coach Dickert and your Washington State Cougars, Mark. Shout out to them.
Yes, go Cougs. Go
Love
Cougs.
that. Love that. And let's also shout out Malaya. Let's shout out also, if I'm not mistaken, Merrick.
Yep.
And Mackay.
Yeah, absolutely. My grandkids. Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, Avi.
Absolutely, my friend. And the guys and gals, Jeremy London, a great grandfather. Everyone you see here on screen, parents, sons, sisters, brothers, they care about their family, and that speaks to me. I don't want to sound all dull about this, but you know, when I kind of bring people in, there are some people I don't bring in. I don't judge. I don't judge at all. But I like to have people that really stand for something even bigger than the pomp and circumstance, if you will. They stand for everything that's right about humanity. So why not? A great fit in TKN. They are. Guys, we're now going to start off with our first participant. The way it's going to work is I have all of the names in an envelope here. It's all random, I promise you. And I will draw a number card first. That number card will indicate how many people you'll be facing in round number 2 of the TKN Celebrity Tournament. That number card will be something that only I see. And once I pick your name first, you will find out who you're facing first. And guys and gals, here is the first person right now on this screen that is going to find out in real time who they will be facing in the TKN Celebrity Tournament round number 2. As I pull this up, guys and gals, hope you all enjoy.
Get ready to rumble.
Here we go. We're going to find out now. I'm going to kick it over to Jacques Rougeau. Jacques, you've done this before. You found out that you're facing the first man to knock out Mike Tyson. You're facing Buster Douglas in round 2. We found out last week. Any advice for this great panel you see here?
I just want to say it's so exciting. Last week I was like on the edge of my seat to see who a better man is going to face me or a better woman. And all the time I was waiting and waiting, I was just like really like a kid, just waiting. Because I know that everybody out there, no matter how good you think you are, it's going to be a scary moment to see who you're going to be facing. So Kelly, I wish you good luck anyway.
Thank you.
I love that, guys and gals. And call me a sappy guy. I'd rather be sappy than cynical. But one of my favorite parts of the show is strangers do become friends here. And I love that. Guys, this is the great Kelly Packard coming out of the envelope first, as we saw in that video. I drew the number 3 card, which means she'll be facing two luminaries. We will find out now randomly who she will be facing. Wow. An incredible talent. Film, television, modeling career as well. She'll be facing the one and only Megan. She'll be facing Megan. That's one of her opponents in round number 2. Send her more information about Megan. And then her second opponent in round number 2. Of course, guys and gals, we all leave with respect. We all have the same objective. Yes, a giant of the stage and film and television. Also someone who appeared many a times on Seinfeld. Mr. John O'Hurley, guys and gals. John O'Hurley.
Nice.
That's
Good
awesome.
to hear, man.
John was on with Mr. Calvin Murphy in round number 1 and Joseph Rude. He made his way to round 2. Guys, some of the matchups are changing from last week, as I told you. Kelly, are you familiar with Mr. O'Hurley?
Yes, I am familiar with him and his work. And that's pretty cool that I was matched up with 2 actors, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. Would you agree? I'm going to ask the panel this question along with Kelly. Do you think a lot of this is determined in terms of who moves on to the next round, round number 3? Is the topic something that has to speak to you? Or do you guys like challenging topics that maybe are kind of get you out of your comfort zone? Which do you prefer?
I like challenging topics a bit, and the more time I can work on them, they might become more comfortable.
I think that what we're doing here is a big, it's a time to get out of our comfort zones and actually, when you're in a sort of a tournament situation, you want to kind of go up against the people that challenge you, right? I mean, that makes it more fun. If there were softball questions and stuff, I don't think it'd be as much fun.
Yeah, and one thing we're definitely, guys, not going to tackle, we don't do religion, we don't do politics, we don't do anything, but we definitely have a lot of thought-provoking topics that could lead to great philosophical conversations where we learn from one another. But dare I say this, if you ever want to speak about something going on that matters to you, do it. Here, at least, if we do discuss something, we know it's not going to be controversial. We know there's not going to be any separation or division. That will not happen over here. We welcome any and all opinions. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to ask Mr. Joe Smith. Joe, when you were on, you had quite the matchup as well with Ron Jaworski, Jaws himself, and the Matt Stuntman. Did you feel as if when some of the topics that you were researching, are you more off the cuff, or do you like to do your research before you're actually live?
Either one, Matt. Either one worked for me. But I mean, if you throw it to me for live on the fly, I can adjust. If I do the research, that'll help out a lot. But I mean, either way works for me.
I hear you there. Jim McMahon, is there something to be said about being up? You were up against Rick Barry, one of the greatest of all time, and also Justin. There's something to be said about being on screen with another luminary, another great? Does that bring the best out of you as well?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I was kind of surprised I made it to the second round. Being with Rick. Rick likes to, he studied those topics. I mean, he was pretty on key on everything, and it was kind of rough. But I was just happy to make it to the next round, and looking forward to who I get next time.
Absolutely, and we're going to find out right now momentarily. Mark, you were on with the great Jesse Ventura and Bruce Davison. Great storyteller, great personality. Jesse, as I mentioned to you off camera, always wants to have conversations with you, especially after that night. What were your thoughts about that evening?
It was great. It was very challenging. Jesse Ventura was a surprise. I'd known who he was. I didn't know him. I knew Bruce from before in New York, LA, just around, and I knew he was a smart guy. But Jesse Ventura really showed me something about what this is about. I mean, it was a wrestling match for him. He was really in it to win. He was a salesman. I would have bought a car. I would have been an old car that didn't work.
No, you guys had a lovely conversation, and we all benefited from it. Mark Rypien, you were on, my friend, with Brian Jordan and the great Tank Abbott. And when you hear these stories of survival, in the case of Tank, how he died on an operating table and came back, I mean, that must do something to you, even when you're on screen live, hearing all this, right?
Wow, totally inspiring. I mean, Tank, I knew nothing about Tank other than he was a heck of a grappler, you know, and by the end of the show, felt like I knew everything about him. He was amazing, inspiring. I will say this: I studied the heck out of those questions you gave. Then you threw me a curveball and you blitzed me there that wasn't on my list. So I like that, though. That was good. You're checking me, weren't you?
Well, I'll tell you this, my friend. Guys, Mark was the top vote getter. In all those 3 matchups, 2 advance out of 3, unless there was a tie. Mark, top vote getter. Jamie, you were on with the great Eric Roberts. Recently, at the 11th hour, you and Eric both kind of got into round number 2. That was a hell of a conversation as well, and you taught us a lot about you.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed my time with Eric and getting to know him and his views. And sometimes in these open style conversations, it's almost as if you can learn both sides. I think it's great.
Well said, my friend. Guys and gals, our next matchup will be announced right now. A couple of matchups I'll announce, and then anybody who wants to depart, let me know. Kelly, guys and gals, found out she's facing John O'Hurley and Megan. Kelly, before we bid you adieu, I'll announce this next match. But is there anything you want to let our viewers know? Because you always have a smile on your face. You're always there for the fans. Again, you prioritize family. Anything coming down the pike that you'd like to bring up, my friend?
You know, I think this Baywatch documentary has breathed a new life into that show, which was unexpected, but it's doing very well on Hulu. And so there's talk about all this reboot stuff. I haven't heard anything personally yet, but
Sure.
I'm keeping my options open.
I love that. Guys and
You know
gals.
what?
Jacques?
You know, Abby, there's something I wanted to say because I like this show so much, but there's something I want to share with everybody. I'm afraid crazy about the spontaneous questions and stuff like that because I'm not an educated man. If you talk to Jesse the Body Ventura, you talk to the governor, you talk to all the people that up here, that when I hear you guys talk, you're so amazing because you're like, you know, you're smart.
And so are you. That's I'm
Nice
glad I could cut you off now to tell you so are you.
But what I'm saying, Abby, is like my strength in life is my experience, being knocked down and learning how to get back up. And I learned by experience. I wasn't very much an intellectual guy. So when you ask the question, and it's like, especially like I'm Canadian, and you guys, a lot of times you speak with, I don't know your history in the States very much. So sometimes I feel like, holy mackerel, like, you know, I'm out of this conversation. So like, you know, because you guys know each other about your careers and everything like that. And I'm just there looking at you guys learning. And I just wanted to say that I'm afraid like crazy every time.
No. Can I say something to you, Jacques? I have to say this. I started, I won't go on some long tirade, I promise you. But I started screenwriting professionally because at the time I felt that I was broken. I have to be honest. In a lot of pieces, I felt I was broken. And storytelling gave me a chance to kind of reconfigure those pieces into 1,000 different things that are positive for people to see and watch. So we all endure trauma, but we turn into something creative, and that's what you've done. I wish people who aren't artists can see what the process is like when we as artists get hurt. We don't lash out as artists. We turn whatever we are feeling into like a bouquet of flowers. And that's what you do. You give back. So you are teaching. You are an educator because there are people learning from you every day, my friend.
Oh, thank you. But anyway, I wish I could transmit to you how I feel when I face people.
You're awesome, eh?
Yeah,
Love that. Guys and gals, Mr. London. Guys, I have to ask Jeremy London this question as well. Jeremy, didn't ask you this when you were here because I'm always lost in deep conversation with you, but winning this entire prize would mean something for you as well.
Absolutely. I'm here to win just like everybody else. I don't, you know, but I think that the win for me is just getting to be a part of this. I mean, so I'm not going to be terribly disappointed if I don't win. Don't get me wrong, but honestly, I want to win more for my lady more than anything. She's only been out of Mississippi like once with me. I took her to Niagara Falls, but she's really hardly been out of Mississippi, and so I would love to just show her the world a little bit. I've been blessed in my life to be able to see it, so I'd love to share it with her a little bit.
Jeremy,
That'd be cool.
Stevie Azar's event, Jeremy?
What's that, sir?
Have you been to Stevie Azar's event in Mississippi in Greenville?
I haven't.
Oh,
I don't know about that. I need to look into that.
That's definitely something I hope we can all do one day, is all break bread together. Guys and gals and pals, this is a great group over here. And now our next luminary is going to find out who they're facing in round number 2. Guys and gals and pals, I drew the number 3, which means Jamie as well. I said there'd be a lot of 3 cards in here, and I wasn't kidding. Jamie drew 2.
You make me feel like a ninja in an 80s movie.
We had a great conversation the other day with another martial arts instructor who's a legend. And again, all about the kids and what you do to give back means a lot. Guys, this is Mr. Jamie Sparling, man who's been teaching this incredible craft of martial arts for decades. The 2 that he'll be facing, remember, 2 out of 3 advance in a 3-way match. 2 out of 3 advance to round 3. 6 rounds in total. This is round 2. Jamie will be facing one of the most decorated Olympians of all time, gold medalist, Mr. Dan Jansen. Dan Jansen.
Yes.
Great guy. Great human being.
Very cool.
That's one. And the second.
Oof. I was going to say the first one a little bit. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm going to fall off. Now there's another one.
A dear friend that I'm honored to be writing with after his first appearance here. Guys and gals, if you're a fan of Hars, the man who wrote and directed Child's Play, guys and gals, Fright Night, Mr. Tom Holland, the legend, Tom Holland.
Absolutely. This is going to be amazing.
Nice. Very cool.
Mr. Tom Holland. Mark and Jeremy and Kelly, have you guys got a chance to work with Tom at all?
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, there you go.
What a great director he is. He was a great friend of Donner's as well. Jamie, your reaction, Tom Holland and Dan Jansen, my friend.
I look forward to each and every time I'm on and I get to conversate with folks. The competition is a little thick, I got to be honest there. I'm going to need to feel like a ninja in an 80s film, but I'm looking forward to it, and I want to take my wife to Greece. That's what it's all about,
I love that. That's going to be a great learning experience, no doubt. Guys, in case you're wondering, I will start booking these matchups in the next week or so regarding dates. That's why next Saturday's show is the last stop before round 2, a quick preview show. And then on 28th, we kick off round number 2. There'll be one matchup per Saturday, so it'll be going on for a bit, but it'll start picking up steam, believe me, especially into round 3 and more. Guys, more matchups to be announced right now. Really quickly, I do want to ask Joe, who hasn't found out who he's facing yet, Jeremy, Mark, Jim, both Marks, I should say. Would you rather be on screen with someone from your field or profession or someone that you really aren't that familiar with? Preference. And just jump in when you guys want to jump in.
For me, someone I'm not familiar with. I like to, explore journeys, people's different journeys, learn from their experiences. And I hear a lot about the sport world all the time. So for me to be on with someone that's not from the sport world is awesome for me.
Sure. Yeah.
I'd like to expand my horizons a little bit, expand my field of knowledge. It's good to work opposite somebody that isn't in the same field.
Sure.
We all Hollywood gets a little bit inbred anyway.
Guys and gals, Jacques, you found out you're facing Buster Douglas. Are you looking forward to getting to know Buster?
You know, it's so funny because last week I was waiting, and for about I don't know how many hours before they announced my match, and everybody was three against three playing in the same game, and so I made a fun thing while Avi was off the air. I said to everybody that was there, like you guys, I said, well, I can make you one promise that the next match is going to be three because at the beginning it's 4, 2, and 3. So he comes back and he says the next guest is Jacques Rougeau, and he says you're going to be 2. And I went like, holy shit, 2! Like it was the first one, and
you gave me the greatest organic segue ever. It was amazing.
So I know Buster Douglas just had a reputation being a boxer. I don't know him personally. And I always said this, like in wrestling, guys, you could have 3 nights in wrestling. I had a 45-year career, and there's 3 nights you could have in wrestling. So there's a good night, there's a bad night, or it could be just a magical night. So I hope Buster Douglas has a bad night.
Hey guys, please let's have a bad night. Let's bid Kelly Packard adieu. Thank you for joining us tonight, Kelly.
Thank you. I got to go do mom duty. Thanks,
Good luck.
guys.
Good luck.
Good luck next round.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely, guys. Kelly Packard here joining us. She will be facing, of course, guys and gals, Megan and John O'Hurley. Some of the matchups that we announced last week, a few of them have been tweaked, not many. Guys, our next matchup right now, will be unveiled before your very eyes. It's going to feature either Mark Metcalf, Jim McMahon, Mark Rypien, Joe Smith, or Jeremy London. So we're going to find out right now who gets their name called next.
Hey, Avi, I've got about maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes, guys and gals. We're going to find out who Mark Rypien is going to be up in next.
Let's do it. I would have loved. I want to answer that one question. I would have loved to have been with Jamie. I like going against anyone, but Jamie, kamsahamnida on the door.
I love that. Hey, Mark, maybe in round 3, if you guys move on to round 3, you never know.
Maybe.
Here we go, guys. Champion, guys. Great human being. Here we go, guys. A number 3 card. Mark will also have 2 others that he will be facing in round 2. And, of course, same rules apply. There are no ties in round 2. No ties. This is the great Mark Rypien, guys and gals. An absolute legend of a human being and competitor. He will be facing... Oh, this is an interesting pick. Maybe Jacques can offer some advice. I don't know. A lot of people consider him one of the favorites, guys. A man who ran a company, Mr. Eric Bischoff, Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff, who ran WCW many years ago. Very intelligent guy, Mr. Bischoff and Mark Rypien. And then the third. Oh, look at this, guys and gals. Another legendary quarterback and legendary analyst, Ron Jaworski.
Oh, I love the Jaws. Yes, a couple good Polish boys there. Good Polish boys. And gorgeous George Bischoff. I love it.
Mark, before we bid you adieu, my friend, any thoughts on your match with Eric Bischoff and Ron Jaworski? The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, if we speak Polish, I think we'll have an advantage on Bischoff. So it's going to be a great match. I love Jaws, what he does, what he stands for, and it's great to hear Mr. Bischoff and what he, all the years that he spent doing the sport that he did, and excited about that, like Tank and Jacques and all the guys. It was wonderful, guys. I look forward to it. Peace be with all of you, and look forward to hopefully seeing you in the next round.
See you soon, Rip.
It was an honor.
Be in touch. Bye-bye, Mark.
Javi, you bet.
Appreciate you.
What a
Guys,
gentleman.
legendary Mark Rypien, guys and gals. Absolute legend. Absolutely. He's going to
What a
be.
great guy.
He's incredible, man. He really is, and he gives back a ton. I'm going to let him know this week again, getting all the dates ready and organized, who's going to be facing who. And, guys, we're going to jump into a man. How many people can say they were the first overall pick in any draft? The man to my far right, Mr. Joe Smith, #1 overall pick in '95. We have 2 #1 overall former NBA draft picks in this tournament. Greg Oden is the other one, and Mr. Joe Smith. Joe, any sort of dialogue with Greg Oden over the years?
Not much. Greg was a little bit younger. He got injured early in his career, so
sure.
We didn't cross paths too often. So, but if we face each other on the show, then that'll be all.
I love it. And guys and gals, again, you're looking at a man who gives back to our youth. This is Mr. Joe Smith. Oh, man. I'm going to ask you guys really quickly. Is part of the joy of this experience the anticipation?
Absolutely.
No question. I just swear that for that.
Well, the music a little eerie, it kind of just.
A little bit, you're right.
I don't
Jamie,
know.
I got to tell you, Jamie, it's one of the things I really love about Mr. Joe Smith, who's right here, is on draft night, the way he embraced his mom, the way you love your family, brother. That means so much to me. That means a lot to me, man.
Oh man, I was, like you said, the youngest of 7 kids, man, and I had 6 mothers and fathers older than me, that helped bring me up, that support me throughout my youth basketball career, that kind of guided me through life, man. So it's been awesome, man. I love my family. I love being around my family, and we have some good times.
I love that, my friend. Guys,
I'm just mesmerized. I am. Every time I see a description of one of you guys, I'm just saying. First of all, I'm saying to myself, I could never win against these guys. But then I'm saying, and then I look at this, and then I say, and then the other thing I think, guys, is, isn't it amazing? I saw a movie one time, and the guy said in this movie, I can't remember what movie it was, but he says, "Doesn't time fly?" And it's like, I look at all you guys now, you look like me old and stuff. And I look at all when you were young and all the accomplishments you did. And I'm going like, holy mackerel, like, does time fly? Isn't it amazing?
That's a great way of putting it, my friend. It does. And thankfully in this tournament, we definitely take our time, a lot of rounds to go, but you're right. And you're a big part of that, my friend. I'm glad people are getting to know the heart that you have. Guys and gals, another triple match. This is Joe Smith facing 2 out of 3 will advance. Pro wrestling legend Glacier Ray Lloyd. Really nice, upstanding human being. Glacier Ray Lloyd be facing Joe Smith.
The wrestler.
And also...
You got it, Joe.
The wrestlers always have the best stories, man.
That's true. True.
They do.
Not always the best heart, though.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be one heck of a trio when Ray Lloyd, Joe Smith, and this gentleman will also be in their respective match. Mr. Jason London.
Oh, wow.
Mr.
My twin brother.
That is Jeremy's twin brother.
Whoop his
Joe,
butt,
your thoughts?
Joe.
You said
Get
what?
alive, Joe. Get it, Joe.
Hey, Ali, I've got a kind of a strict time limit, and it's coming up right away. So
Yes, sir. Guys and gals, I'm going to cue up Mr. Mark Metcalf, and he's going to find out who he's facing right now. Guys and gals, Mark Metcalf.
thank you.
Guys and gals. Mark, you had a nice time tonight, my friend?
Yeah, say that again.
Did you have a nice time this evening, my friend?
Yes, I had an excellent time. I had a great time. It's great to get to know all these new people.
Well, you'll get to know two others, my friend, in round number 2, and I do appreciate you a ton. Number 1 is Sergeant Slaughter, WWE Hall of Famer Sergeant Slaughter.
Okay.
Mr.
All right.
Mark Metcalf.
Nice.
Great.
Nice,
That's a good person for me.
He's a funny guy. You'll see he's
big
very
personality.
funny.
Yeah, no, I'll bet he is. I bet he
Big,
is.
big
I don't have any idea who he is, but I just,
Yeah,
based on his
he's
name, I suspect he'll be a
Great
lot of fun.
personality.
And a very funny, talented, good, dear friend of mine, an amazing singer as well, always made us happy during happy days, Mr. Don Most, guys and gals.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Potsy,
Good.
right?
Two completely new people for me to get inside their brains.
I love that. And Mark, anything you want to mention to our audience right now? The floor is yours before you depart, my friend.
Anything I want to say that again?
Anything you want to let our audience know? The floor is completely yours, my friend.
No, just thank you and thank all these people and thank the audience. And particularly, always thank the audience for turning it on and turning it in. And I look forward to this. I guess it's a competition, but it doesn't feel like a competition. It just feels like a big party.
I love it. And you're a part of it, my friend. You have a great rest of the weekend, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Mark Metcalf, guys and gals. Great human being. Guys, just 2 more
Very
matchups.
cool.
Jim McMahon and Jeremy London, and then we'll bid this panel adieu. 2 more matchups to be announced on as far as this panel is concerned. Guys, stick around because after these great luminaries bid us adieu for the evening, Mr. Jacques Rougeau and I have a conversation about something very important. And second half of the show, I reveal the rest of the names that have not really drawn anybody as of yet. So guys and gals and pals, here is another incredible matchup that I will showcase before your very eyes. Guys and gals and pals, thanks for watching us, guys. On YouTube alone, we're at 5,690 live right now, but we're also, guys, on 53 other pages. So thank you for your viewership.
Wow.
Jim McMahon, guys, it's been a blessing to get to know you, Jim, as I've mentioned before, but I'll always bring up the fact that you bring the best out of people, man. You really do. You see the best in people. And I can't wait to see who you face in round number 2. I know the competitor wants to see that. This is Jim McMahon, guys and gals. Absolute legend. One of the greatest of all time. You will be facing 2 as well. The first, Hall of Fame bodybuilder, TV legend, and, of course, the Incredible Hulk himself, Lou Ferrigno, guys and gals.
Nice. That'll be cool.
Off.
What's that?
I hope that piss him off.
You don't want to
better not
You don't
drop
like
the
him
ball.
when he's angry.
Right? You better not drop the ball.
Well, we go from really tough and rough to one of the nicest souls in the world. This is going to be one heck of a matchup. WB Hall of Famer and New York Times bestseller, Mr. McFoley. Mr. McFoley.
Oh, sweet Mick.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, he's
Should
so
be
kind.
fun.
What a
Looking
sweet
forward
man.
to it, boys.
Yeah, Jim, any
That'll be
final
fun.
thoughts regarding your match, Mr. Foley and Mr. Guys and Gals Ferrigno against Jim McMahon?
Well, it's going to be interesting, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to the topics that you give us next time, because I'm not really up to date on a whole lot of things. It took me 37 years to graduate college, so I don't study a whole lot. It's usually off the cuff. So I was surprised to move on. I'm hoping I can surprise them again this round.
No, you did great, my friend. And again, I really want to thank you for being who you are. Gym Time's going to return as well, guys and gals, with the great Jim McMahon. Jim, any final words for our panel? Joe Smith, Jacques Rougeau, Jamie Sparling, Jeremy London, Jim McMahon. Floor's yours.
Well, I'm just wishing you guys all the best of luck. I'm looking forward to my 7th grandkid being born here in the next week or two.
Wow.
Take up a lot of time. So, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm hoping to go back to Greece. Like I said earlier, it was a beautiful country. I love the islands. I've been there twice. I've got some good friends there. So, I'm going to give it my all.
Yes,
Jim, I want to say something to you, Jim. I saw the pictures about when you were younger on the field and all that, and you bring back some great memories, because I was on the road a lot, 25 days a month around the world, and I used to watch football on TV from my hotel room. And I think of guys like Montana and like even the guy that played for Florida there, that was a legend there, a quarterback in Florida.
Dan Marino?
Yeah, Dan Marino. That was where the times that I used to watch football, when I was in the hotel room. I want to thank you for the childhood memories. But I still think that you don't deserve to go to Greece. You already been twice. So
Well, I'm going to try to go that 3rd time, guys.
You got to do the Super Bowl stuff.
I've got to run myself, my friend. So I look forward to our next Gym Time show. And good luck to everybody.
Thank you.
My friend.
Take care.
Good, brother.
God bless.
So good
Appreciate
to
you.
see you, my brother.
You too, my friend. Jim McMahon, guys and gals, legendary Jim McMahon. Joe Smith. Joe, my friend, you want to hang around for one more match announcement, Jeremy London, before we bid you adieu?
Oh, why not? I'm here.
I love it.
Having fun.
I want to give it up to Joe as well. Guys, for those who know me well, know that maybe not other sports, but I'm a basketball historian. When you came to Golden State in '95, they were on the precipice of something, and then Mullen got hurt, and then Timmy Hardaway gets traded to Miami. And then all of a sudden they're rebuilding, and there's a different philosophy coaching wise. And you were there through that entire transition. And you were the number one guy they were building around, and you did not disappoint, my friend. But how often do you reflect back on a career filled with locker room veterans, where now maybe that's something that's in need more of, right? More teams need some veterans in the old locker room.
Oh yeah, no question, Avi. That veteran leadership is very necessary in locker rooms. I mean, our younger guys, you get tired of hearing the coach's voice all the time. Practice, to the bus, to the plane, to games, you hear constantly the same voice all the time, coaches. But you have that veteran leadership, guys that's been through the wars, guys that's been through the battle, guys that understand what you're about to go through. That kind of feeds a little bit more, and it kind of heaps to that a little bit more than hearing it from a coach. Hearing it from a player that's been through it is a lot more. They could take it a lot more.
That's very true. And now you're passing it on to a younger generation, and I love that.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about it. It brings me joy every time I'm working with these kids. And like I said, to see the development, not just on the court or on the field, but to see the development that they have in the communities is also a big plus for me.
I love that. Guys and gals, that's what we have here. We have men and women who do a lot and give back to communities and kids and really pass on their knowledge. That's what it's all about, paying it forward. As Jeremy London did with me, giving me amazing sage advice as a friend. And that's why I can't wait to find out who Mr. Jeremy London will be facing right now in round number great movie. All right, guys and gals, another trio. This will be another trio of luminaries.
You got me with the grandbaby pick.
Oh man, that's special, man.
Thanks,
That's
Bobby.
special.
Wow.
You deserve it, my friend. You really do. That's what it's all about. Family, guys and gals. Out of the envelope comes the one and only Mr. Jeremy London, an artist, a storyteller, a teacher. Mr. Jeremy London will be facing two. Jeremy, you faced Ken Patera in round number 1. Do you recall that match?
I do. Yes, it was a good one. Very good. He's a thinker, man. It was fantastic.
Really was.
Yep.
Guys and gals, this is the first person that he will be facing, and it's another pro wrestling legend. Maybe Jacques can comment on this and give us some thoughts. Also a very good friend, Mr. Jerry Sags, guys and gals. Mr. Jerry Sags of the Nasty Boys.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to educate myself on that one. I'm not
Jacques has got you. There's a story there.
Yeah.
There's got to be.
Yeah, I can see the giggle. I just love it's worth it just because of Jacques' giggle. I know this is going to be amazing, and that's all I need to know.
Jeremy, I'm just going to tell you one thing. I can honestly not criticize this or critique this match in real life, because when we were in the dressing room, we were all in characters, and he was a total idiot. You know, so it's like, but I know, but when I meet him now in our days in Comic-Cons, you know, when we go sign autographs and we meet our fans, he's not the same guy at all that when he was in the dressing room. So don't underestimate him. But Jeremy, you know, I've been looking at you since the beginning. I've been looking at you since the beginning of this show now more than ever, and you just, you know, you get. There's something about you. You're charismatic. You're kind, and you're. I think you got this. I really do. I think you got this. I think you got it. Like Joe. Joe, I'm so amazed, Joe, by your. You know, you talk about teaching the youth, and then you remind me of when I was young in the dressing room. And sometimes I had old timers when I was young. They'd come and see me, and they'd say, "Listen, kid," you know, and this and that. And sometimes I'd listen to them, and then when they turn around, I'd say, "Ah." Right. You know, like he doesn't know what he's talking about, you know, and now today I'm in the position, in a different position. And it's amazing how we get smarter with time. But anyway.
And Jacques, I got to tell you this too. Tim Hardaway just texted me. Tim's a friend of Joe's. Tim knows who he's in round number 2 with. He was in round number 1 against you. Guys, in round number 2, Tim Hardaway, as we found out last week, will be up against Tretch from Naughty by Nature.
Uh-oh.
Which is going to be one heck of a matchup. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Mr. John Amos. So that's going to be one heck of a matchup.
That'll be great.
Yes.
Do I have? Is it just me against the wrestler guy, or is there another one?
No, sir. You are going also up against one of the few two-way athletes who was in the MLB and NFL as a star in both, an all-star in both, Mr. Brian Jordan. Mr. Brian Jordan.
Very cool. Well,
NFL,
this will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a fun matchup for sure.
I'm gonna destroy them. I'm kidding. You just gotta make this spicy now, right? Right now.
I love this.
You have to kick my brother's ass, and then I'm going to kick their ass.
Hey, I got a
tag team being formed right now.
Hey, Jamie, the funniest thing last week was when Jason London was on with us. We had a panel of 60, not at once, but overall. Mm-hmm. And Jacques, you were there with us last week. When Jason was finding out who I was pulling out, he whispered loudly, we could hear, "Please don't let it be my brother. Please don't let it be my brother."
I bet.
Because I will cook him, and he knows.
Oh, man. Guys, I want to thank you all for being here. Jamie, I'm going to put you in the back and you'll join us momentarily. But Joe and Jeremy, man, thank you guys for joining us tonight on a Saturday Night Live, making time to do this. I appreciate you a ton.
No, man, this is so cool. right? I get to freaking hang out with Joe Smith and Jacques and these guys and Mr. Sparling and these. This is just, how fun is this? Very privileged. Thank you, Avi. You do an amazing thing. I get to exercise those few brain cells I have left.
Oh.
Hopefully.
No, because
And,
from our show, guys and gals, we have a show called From London to You. We've already debuted episode 1. Now that season 2/round 2 of this tournament is underway, Jeremy and I are going to discuss much more on that show because remember, 2 topics now in the tournament, not 3, which means we'll have time to do talk shows immediately afterwards. The topics will only be condensed to 2. Guys, Jeremy and I will be discussing a lot of things that really matter to us, a lot of history as well. I can't wait to do that and really dive deep again with you, Jeremy.
I'm looking forward to it, man. The mind meld is what I look forward to. I'm
Yes,
with a baby all day that we're raising the grandbaby, and so getting to just connect with adults is fantastic.
Love you, my friend. You have a great rest of your
you too,
Saturday
my brother.
night.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
I appreciate it.
guys.
I'm gonna hop in and start painting.
I love it.
Good night.
Good luck.
He's a great
God
painter.
bless
He's an
everybody.
amazing
Take
painter.
care.
Yeah.
Thank
Got
you.
to see his
Take
work,
care.
guys.
Thank you.
100%, my friend. Yeah. And Joe, again, please let us know because I'm going to put this here on the old screen once Jacques and I finish our conversation. Where can we find out more about this great academy? Because what you're doing for the youth is something that really inspires me.
Like I said, I keep everything, keep my website up to date with everything I have going on. And it's joesmithbasketballacademy.com. So once you go there, you can see what days I have training, what days I have mentoring, what days I'm speaking, and what days I'm doing IT. Because like I said, I'm connected with an IT company now, which we're bringing to the kids to show them how the IT actually works and not just holding the phone in your hand and just pushing buttons. So
that's great.
So,
Check out this website, guys. This is a really cool. I want to share the screen right now in real time, guys. This is an awesome website. Again, Joe Smith Basketball Academy, all one word.com. That's joesmithbasketballacademy.com. There's a lot of great stuff. There's classes, there's workshops. You can explore this website, and I'm going to be showcasing this not only tonight, but consistently as well. This definitely speaks to me. Man, Jacques, Jamie, any words for Mr. Joe Smith before he departs?
Mr. Smith, thank you. That's a beautiful story and what you're doing for these kids, changing lives. And as a martial arts teacher, we just do it in different ways. And God bless you. I think that's amazing.
I appreciate it.
And I want to say the same thing, but about you also, Jamie. And you're a teacher, and Joe, you're a teacher. I'm a teacher, and it's so much fun to for me, the best thing of all that is when I have just someone come up to me unexpectedly and say, "Hey, thank you, Jacques, for what you're doing." And and I'm sure you get it all the time. And that's more than any money you could get in the whole world, because you feel like you've changed your life. You help somebody in life. And I was born with one gift, guys, and I could tell right now that both of you have the same gift as I have. I like giving more than receiving. And when you give something, it brings you extraordinary. Some people, when they receive something, they're very happy. Me, when I give something and I see some results, or I see a smile, I make somebody happy, that just makes me even more happier. And I feel like in both of you, that's what I see when I talk with both of you.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, and guys and gals and pals, we're going to keep ribbing Jacques about him saying he's not a teacher. Are you kidding me? I would have paid money to hear Jacques speak anytime, right, Joe? Joe, even if the topic was about like garlic bread or something, I would pay to hear Jacques.
I would pay more to hear about garlic bread if it came from Jacques.
Man, and guys, again, Joe, thanks for everything, my friend. I'm going to keep in touch with you real soon.
Okay, thank you, Avi. I appreciate everything. Great to meet everybody, man, and look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Good
Likewise.
luck. Good luck, Joe. Good luck.
The great Joe Smith, guys. Absolutely. A legend, guys. A legend of a human being. I'm going to ask Jacques and Jamie, because, Jamie, I'm going to have a conversation with Jacques momentarily.
Yes, sir.
What I'm going to do is put some of these envelopes away, because we had some matchups we drew. And in about 2 minutes, I'm going to pop up on screen. But if you guys want to just take it away so far, maybe give the audience or yourself some feedback about what we just witnessed, the floor is yours.
Go ahead, Jamie.
First of all, Jacques, it made me so happy when you came up. I watched last week. I was in the back green room, and when you speak, people feel. That's more powerful than whatever you can put up here. I just want you to know that's
my God.
absolutely the truth. And I think we all are going to have our work cut out for us in this thing, you know. But I could listen to you talk about anything because you have high energy and it comes from the heart.
That's so nice, because I feel like intellectuality is my weakness, and I just feel so when you touch me by saying that, because you give me hope that maybe I could go on in this tournament, maybe make it another round. But I'm just so happy because even if I stopped in the next round, I was put out in the next round. This was one of the most nicest experience because when I first entered this competition, I was thinking selfishly. I was thinking like, I got to win this. Look, I'm doing it for the win. But now the more I'm into this show, it's like there's so much more than going to Greece and winning the money. It's just seeing all my favorite heroes. Like, even when I saw, it may be stupid, but when I saw Lou Ferrigno, and he was like part of my childhood, seeing him on the street. And then I see him talk, and then I hear like almost Arnold Schwarzenegger when he talks, I'll be back, and he talks like that. And then I see all of the guys, like even the Jim McMahon before, like and I used to watch him on TV, and there's so many celebrities and people that it's bringing back my youth, but anyway, I appreciate that very, very much, and I'm there's no gray zone with me, and it's like I'm an open heart, and whatever happens, but. Everybody has their reasons for this, but there is one thing I'm fighting for, Jamie, and I'm just saying it now. There's not many people now on board, competitors, but I'm going to tell you something, a secret.
You got it.
My wife, she's been fighting cancer for a year now, and she's like, we got 2 more months to go, and she keeps telling me, I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Greece, and that's why I want to win. Because when you fight a battle like that, it's bigger than any battle I fought, more than any wrestling match I've had in my life. And now that she's winning the battle, she doesn't have any more. She doesn't have any more cancer in her. She did the 8 months treatment of chemo. She did the operation. She got the operation. Now she did the radiotherapy, and now she's on her last 2-3 rendezvous that she has. And and her hair has grown back on her hair. Her hair actually looks like yours. But anyway, it's like, I swear, and it's like spiky. Yes, she's got that. And but it's so fun to live that, and you don't look at life the same way after that. So I'm gonna fight. I hope I don't have to meet you, but I'm gonna fight like crazy, and I'm going to try to win this for. And everybody's saying it, but I want to win it for her. I do. I want to win it for her.
Brother, just promise me one thing. No doubting yourself. Because I'm telling you right now, you're a force to be reckoned with, and I'll do you one better. I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid, and I kind of have all those feelings that same you talked about with Mr. Ferrigno, which I also watched that. But let me tell you something. You and the wrestlers inspired me to want to learn martial arts, and I grew up in a violent area and I saw a lot of violence. And the idea that I could at some point handle that violence or neutralize it or at least get away, right, was a huge ordeal. But I used to watch you, and I absolutely adore being able to talk to you right now. That is absolutely the truth. And thank you for sharing your story, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jamie. And I sincerely hope, I really mean it from my heart. If I don't win, I want you to win.
Jamie, you have Mr. Tom Holland, Dan Jansen. It's going to be one heck of a conversation. We got an Olympian and a legendary film director. Guys and gals and pals, Jacques Rougeau and I are going to talk about something very important. But Jacques, I have a special guest who now is going to sign in and find out who he's facing in round number 2 of this tournament. Let's bring him in, guys and gals. Let me give him his intro because he deserves his intro, guys and gals. Again, we are here live. We found out who Jim McMahon is facing, Jeremy London, Mark Metcalf. Guys, a smile is the light in your window that tells others that there's a caring, sharing person inside. Legendary poet Walt Whitman said, I'm afraid of nothing because I'm a friend of all. I'm a comrade of all who shake hands and welcome all who bring respect. The above reminds, guys and gals, reminds me of life and humanity, and it rings oh so true in describing the next participant tonight. He also happens to be an incredible co-host. He delivers every time like a mid-70s Billy Crystal doing his thing on a D. Martin roast. He's a man that is universally known from Indianapolis to Minneapolis, from Maine to Spain, Cuba to Aruba, Armenia to Slovenia, Alaska to Nebraska, Angola, Pensacola, Arizona, Barcelona, Altoona to Laguna, Casablanca to Sri Lanka, Japan to the Sudan, from Greece, see what I did there, to Nice, from China to North Carolina, from Nepal to Senegal. He wants to win the 15 grand by being the last man standing. This man has commercial value. He knows all about branding. He makes his fans smile by being all that and more. He certainly is the stuff. Our organic conversations between two well-traveled individuals over here is void of any fluff. We always cover a wide array of topics as you welcome us to your living room. Lots of smiles, lots of honesty, and to think we aren't even using Zoom. This man is an incredible entertainer, as he's humble and honest, a true class act. Spend 120 minutes with him, it'll feel like 10. That much is a fact. So sit back and enjoy. Have you entered a state of bliss? Please welcome the one and only. Last name Bagwell, first name Marcus. Welcome, my friend.
On, brother.
How are you doing this evening?
Great. How you guys doing?
Doing great, and you're looking great.
How you doing, Jacques?
I'm surviving. I'm having such a blast. I'm just getting to know all my idols that when I was young, and just it's a fun. This is a fun trip. This is really something amazing, and I can't believe how much. And I'm part of something that we're bringing greatness to society, and that's the most thing that I'm enjoying the most. Is like I've never seen a show with so many viewers, and it's all positive. Who would have thought that in our era, in our days, like it could happen, like, you know, and so this is just a wonderful, and I'm glad to see you there, Marcus, too, like, you know, and we've crossed paths a few times, and always nice to meet you and to see you, and it's always fun to see our fellow companions that we shared the same business, and I'm glad I'm not facing you.
I'm glad I'm not facing you because I'm excited about this thing. This thing has been, you know, a very it's intense. And when you look at the talent that this thing calls on, I mean, I was looking at the screen before we started, and you know, Lou Ferrigno, Jim McMahon, the wide array of stars from NBA to pro wrestling. I mean, it really is crazy how much talent's here. It's a great idea. I am in it to win it for sure. Go to breathe and do this thing. But I'd love to have $15,000 on top of that.
Mr. Bagwell, you had a heated match with Mr. Kelly White in round number 1. You're now in round number 2, my friend. We have 131 overall Hall of Famers from sports, music, wrestling, not to mention Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, Golden Globe, Olympians. It doesn't matter who you have in round number 2. The respect will be there afterwards. But during that match, you are there to win.
Yes, 100%.
How do you prepare? How do you prepare, Marcus, to win a match like that? What's your focus? How do you do that?
The first time I ever saw this thing we did with Avi, and it was something that was right up my alley, which means there wasn't any time to do that. This thing that Avi does, man, it is off the cuff. It's what you know at the time. He rolls with a couple of questions and see and I was really good I'm really good off the cuff.
Right.
And I did really well right away. And I just really think it's kind of up my alley. I'm not a big, you know, I'm kind of like Allen Iverson.
Right.
Practice. You know, I mean, I'm ready to play ball, brother. You know,
I love it.
I'm not a big practice guy.
Well, guys, we're going to find out right now who Mr. Marcus Bagwell will be facing in round number 2. Dedication, guys. Dedication. Great actor, guys, and with a great film resume. Action figure.
Hold on.
Here we go, guys and gals. By the way, is it safe for me to say, you guys know this and I don't, is it safe for me to say that it's very hard pressed to find a more professional employee than a Gene Okerlund?
You know, having Gene Okerlund, I mean, you know, it's kind of like when you see an action figure on a guy, or you try to judge your popularity of when certain things happen. When you're getting interviewed by Mean Gene, you've done something. So that was so respectful, so grateful to even see a picture with Mean Gene, because you know when you're sitting there next to Mean Gene talking, you're at the right place at the right time, brother.
I love
You
that.
know, you're part of something when you're with Mean Gene, and you know, it's so amazing because when you say Mean Gene Okerlund in wrestling, I would almost compare it to like someone who narrates like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
His voice, and when Mean Gene took the microphone and he had his voice, he was special, and you know, it was an honor to be around him. And I flew from the UK just a couple of years before he passed, and I was in a Comic-Con over there, and he never changed, and he was so nice. And we were sitting on the plane together coming back, and he always talked about my brother Raymond. You know, he always says, you know, but the way he spoke, it was the same way he spoke in the ring. Like, you know how he spoke, he just had that distinguished voice that you could almost listen to, and you can't listen to a guy like that when you're tired. He's going to put you to sleep because, you know, he's got a voice, you know, that does that to you. It's like that strong voice. What a great man.
First class act, man.
Yeah.
First class act.
I love that. Well, so are you guys. Absolutely all the way. Guys and gals, here we go. I pulled out the number 3 card, which means Mr. Marcus Bagwell has 2 opponents, like many do in round 2. The way it works is 2 out of 3 move on to round 3. 2 out of 3 move on to round 3. This is, of course, the legend himself, Mr. Marcus Bagwell. Man who inspires everybody daily with his messages. First opponent will be, this is actually someone who's considered the youngest person in our tournament because he's a current MLB player. Current. Starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers, guys and gals. Have to go through MLB for this one. Mr. Bryce Wilson. Mr. Bryce Wilson. Current MLB star Bryce Wilson. One hell of a pitcher. And then, you see an Atlanta theme over here. This is pretty cool. Guys and gals, you saw this following individual against Jake Hager and Robert Burke. The legend himself, Mr. David Justice.
Oh, wow.
Hall of Famer David Justice, 2 baseball players who are absolutely phenomenal. Mr. Bagwell, your thoughts?
I'm excited. You know, David, I'm a huge fan of David Justice, the Braves, of course, Atlanta. Big fan of his. I just hate that I've got to beat somebody I never heard of, and I also got to beat a fan.
I love that. Man, oh, man. I also love your stories. Guys and gals, we have a show called The Stuff, which we're going to bring back once round 2 starts kicking off. And again, talking about recovery, talking about everything that you do to help people who are right now dealing with some sort of issue, trial or tribulation. You always give it to them wholeheartedly, and I respect you for that, my friend.
I really appreciate that, man. This thing with recovery is about shooting straight. It's about being accountable. It's about my favorite word, integrity, which means doing the right thing when nobody's looking. And that's what I base my whole life on, is doing the right thing no matter what. And integrity is my favorite word, and recovery, and that's what I bring to the table.
I love that.
Wow,
man, I'm glad every time we get to share the screen, and I'm glad you did it here with another class act like Mr. Jacques Rougeau.
We go way back, man, way back to Disney tapings, you know,
for WCW.
Yes,
I love that.
Early 90s, brother.
Yeah, but it's you know, it's amazing, you know, when you think of, you know, all the celebrities you have, and now you bring up a guy like Dave Justice, like, you know, a guy that and Marcus, you know, and there's so much talent on this show. I can't see the end of the tunnel, to be honest with you. There's so much talent, and it's like everybody's so great. And apart from that, is you're taking everybody, Avi, that has greatness, and you are emphasizing. You're like the icing on the cake. you come and put so all these talent that I see, they're so great, and then when you start introducing them, it's like, holy mackerel, what am I doing
I
here?
always said that's the easy part because
Stacy said a minute ago she's never heard so many people say, "Wow, that was the best intro I've ever had."
Well, you guys deserve it. And I'll say this, you kind of write my intros in my head because you've done so many great things that not many people can say they've accomplished, but it's what you do after your career, post-career. So this second chapter of your lives, man, it's going to inspire me. I got the best seat in the house. Mr. Bagwell, thank you for joining us tonight on a Saturday night.
Avi, I just want to say something before that.
Sure.
You know what? We have a career. We had a career, and but to be honest with you, when we give back to society, you gotta. I'm going to say it again. I'm being selfish, but I'm feeding myself. I'm giving myself a reason to because I know I'm good at what I'm doing in wrestling, and I'm giving back to wrestling. So I feel like I'm not useless. I feel like in life that I'm how can I say that? That it's like I hear so many people that say that they retire, they go home and they do nothing. You know how life could be so hard. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be doing my passion still and living my passion and I don't know if I'm making any sense of what I'm saying.
Giving back. Yeah.
Well, it's just fun to live. You know, I'm glad that I have a chance to live still, you know, to live my passion.
It was great to see you guys, man. I'm looking forward to round 2.
Take care, Mark.
Have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
The legend, Mr. Bagwell, guys, a legendary human being. Absolutely. Man, oh man. Class act Jacques. Hits keep on coming, my friend. I mean, I cannot wait to talk about not only this tournament, but guys and gals, we're going to do it right now at the 2-hour mark. Wrestling Academy. I cannot wait for this because the anticipation's growing. You see the nameplate to your right. It spells JACQUES. You see the last name and it spells capital ROUGEAU. That's Jacques Rougeau. And if you look him up on Facebook, you are going to be invited for a smorgasbord, a plethora, a bevy of amazing visuals that feature young and hungry talent that he's molding and giving opportunities to shine, because that's what this man does. It's called Wrestling Academy, Jacques, and please let our viewers know more about it.
Well, you know, Avi, it's something really extraordinary, and I got to give credit to my girlfriend. She's my rock. She's my partner. She does the website, and I'm going to send everybody on the website right now, wrestling-academy.ca. wrestling-academy.ca, and you'll see the last 2 years that we've done. It's a competition that I have. I'm living a dream. I'm taking all the wrestlers from Canada, and I recruited all the best wrestlers in Canada from Vancouver to Halifax.
Sure.
And they're coming to Montreal, and this is what's amazing about the tournament, Avi, because everybody knows that wrestling's choreographed, but this is a competition, a real competition, and this is how it works. I want to share this with everybody. It's like a month before there's the big event, like it's starting on the 28th of September this year, in 2 weeks from now. So I go on Zoom, and I get one guy from, like I said, New Brunswick, and the guy from Winnipeg, and we start putting a match together. So we fix a match together, and so when they come to Montreal, they had a couple of weeks, they had a month to go to bed at night and read the script and to make sure that they give a great match. And it's all choreographed. But we have 4 judges by the ring. And the judges now, like when they do their show, which they do in an ordinary wrestling show, they go to an arena, do their show, and then they pack up their bags and go back to the hotel.
Right.
Us, the show starts when the match is over. So when they finish doing their match, then they stand in the ring and there's a referee between them. And then there's 4 judges that start undressing them, I call it. So there's 5 criteria that they're judged on. First of all, it's the wrestling gear to see if they take pride in what they're doing. And then there's a promo. They do a 30-second promo before going to the ring, so the judges see if they're good enough for the big leagues. It's all preparing them for the big leagues.
Sure.
And then they look at ability in the ring. They look at their interaction with the crowd, because I'm teaching them now. I'm teaching all the young talent that less is more. It's
Right.
it's an art that they're losing in wrestling today. Everything's going so fast. People don't have time to suffer. People don't have time to worry. People don't have time. So I'm showing them less is more. And then the last and final criteria is their charisma. They're judged on their charisma. So now the wrestlers are standing in the ring, and the 4 judges, they go and they start telling them what they liked about one, what they liked about the other. And then finally, there's 3 rounds, actually. There's the quarterfinals, then there's the semifinals, and then there's the finals.
Wow.
And when they make it to the finals, Abby, it's such an amazing contest this year. We're going to have 4 winners. The people that are used to making $100 a night when they go wrestle on the weekends, like, because they have day jobs.
4 winners, 4 wrestlers will win $10,000.
Yeah, $10,000, 2 men and 2 women each, $10,000 each. Plus, they're going to spend a week. We're paying the transportation and the lodging in Mexico for 1 week to go wrestle for Big Lucha and Bandito's gym, and then they're going to spend 1 week in Japan for Kyushu Wrestling, pro wrestling.
Wow.
So and Abby, let me tell you something about wrestling. When I was in the business, if you want to be judged by promoters or something, you had to look at where they'd been and what they'd done. And 2 of the places that were so important was when you tell a promoter, like he says, hey, what kind of experience you have? And you'd say, well, I went to Mexico.
Japan.
They'd love it. You know why they'd say Mexico? I'll tell you why, Abby, because first of all, Abby, Mexico is the only place on the planet where they work with the right arm instead of the left arm or the right leg. It's international in wrestling. You always work with the left arm. But when you go to Mexico, you got to work with the right arm. And they're ambidex. So what a tool to have in your toolbox.
And if I'm not mistaken, if they're thrown out of the ring, there is no tag either. There's no
exactly. I went there. I witnessed it. I was there, and I was screamed. The promoter screamed at me so much, like Roro.
One of your trademark moves where you would do your back.
I was in the corner. I was in the corner waiting for a tag, like we're used to conventional tags.
Right.
They don't have any. They don't have any over there.
Wow.
So it's a different side. Plus the altitude. It's like Salt Lake City. It's like a couple of places in Colorado Springs where you're high in altitude. So all these things bring something to your toolbox. And then the other.
And I have to say this because I want to talk about the rest of this, but I do want to. It's not like I'm trying to purposely embarrass you and put you over, but you deserve this. When you were in Mexico, speaking of tools, I think that flip that you developed might have originated out of Mexico, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was 18 years old, and I turned when the guy was to bend over and usually throw a guy up in the air. I would turn around and roll on his back and do a backflip. And when I came back to Montreal, I seduced all the young girls. They all loved me. I was like 19 years old. And they were like, holy mackerel, what an acrobatic. So by traveling, it brings a lot to your wrestling capacities. Instead of being a local wrestler that wrestles all the time with the same people at the same place, you don't learn as much.
Sure.
And the other thing what I want to say that we're giving the opportunity, which is amazing, is going to Japan. When you tell a promoter, first you've been to Mexico, and then you tell them that you've been to Japan. Let me tell you something about Japan, Abby. Those guys are tough. In Japan, they're stiff. We have an expression in the wrestling world that's, you have guys that they do things and that didn't hurt. But when you go to Japan, they're snug. They're stiff. And so it's like the musicians or the comedians that say, if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Well, in wrestling,
you kind of have to show them
it in Japan, you can make it anywhere.
As a gaijin, you have to show them that you're there, right? You have to, so they don't eat you up. They don't eat you up in the ring.
And it's so funny too in Japan. It's another philosophy. In Japan, I remember when I went to Japan, as much as the heels, the bad guys or the good guys, people are like this.
Right. The audience, yeah.
So they appreciate the show, but they never got into the Batman and the Joker, like the heel and the babyface.
Yeah.
It was just a choreographed something where they applauded one as much as the other. So with all this experience that I'm giving to the youth there, that's something that's going to help them in life. But to be honest, it's so exciting for me. And it's so exciting for the people. Like now, the show coming up on the 28th of September, we're in Leonardo da Vinci Center, a place where Bocelli would come and sing for the Italians in Montreal. It's a beautiful first-class place. But there's 500 seats sold right now out of 525. So there's only 25 more seats to sell, and we're sold out. So when you sit in a place like that, and you got 4 judges like Gino Brito, I got to tell you something.
Legend.
Gino Brito? Abby?
Legend.
He's like the Dominic Danucci, Tony Parisi, Dino Bravo. He was the Italian connection. But Gino Brito, he wrestled for my dad. He wrestled with my dad. I wrestled for him. He's been around the business for like 70 years. So his knowledge is absolutely amazing. And then another judge is my brother Raymond, who's the mayor of his city.
Did he run Grand Prix Wrestling?
Gino, yes, he was part of. Yes, he was part of that. And then his father, just a quote like that. Gino Brito's father was Jack Britton, and Jack Britton was the one who not invented, but he was the first guys to bring midgets to Montreal. He was the midget wrestling, Jack Britton. That was his dad. So he was in the business, all his life, and his son wrestled. So all that to say that the judges are very credible. My brother Raymond, I don't know what, I say no more about my brother Raymond. He was wrestling, I was still on my bicycle at home, and he was wrestling with my dad and my uncle. And then he wrestled tag team with me, and then we did WWF for so many years. And then he was a
boxing background, right, as well. Boxing,
tough guy, golden gloves. And then he was 20 years, he was announcing for the French Canal Plus in Paris and Montreal. So he was doing the French commentaries. So Raymond knows the business. So all these youngsters that are coming in, male and female, and it's going to be very intimidating because they already know they're in the competition since 10 months ago. They already know. And now it's all coming down in 2 weeks. And, and like I said, there's so much exposure. I do so many podcasts around the world. I do some in Australia. I do some in London. I do some in the States. So I give them plenty of visibility. And so there's so much good things happening to them. So,
and I want the audience to know, look at the support. Look at the people who are supporting Jacques' vision. Of course, his great brother, Raymond, Jimmy Hart, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. You see here Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Billy Gunn, George St. Pierre.
The Undertaker, you'll see them, Brett. You'll see them all. And the funny thing, and the most important thing, Avi, is when you go on the website that my girlfriend does. She's doing that. You click on the picture, and then you'll hear them talk. They're wishing good luck to Jacques Rougeau's Wrestling Academy, and so it's really amazing. And then if you go up on the website, I don't know, Avi, if you can go down, or if you go up or go down there. But don't go sideways, Abby. Go down. Let's see if you could bring up the pictures so you could see the contenders.
Absolutely. I'm going to stop sharing this for a second. And guys, I just want to show you something really quickly here because there's so many luminaries that are giving support to what Jacques is doing. Here, check out this awesome promo. Mind the ads. Mind the ads, guys and gals. Here we go.
Jake the Snake Roberts here. Just want you to know this is the beginning of a beautiful dream. For people. Well, actually, a beautiful dream for all the people that get involved in this opportunity. The Wrestling Academy, hosted by Jacques Rougeau on the mountain. And what a guy, huh? That cattle prod, it hurts. But it gives to see if their dream can come true. So sign up, get involved from Vancouver to Halifax and back. Sign up, get in it. You have to get in it to win it. Okay? 4 of you will get the opportunity to come to the Nightmare Factory.
Wow.
Lord knows where that will wind up. Do you have what it takes? That's the question. Do you want to get ready? You better be ready. You better train your butts off to get ready. Because if you're ready, you just might be one of those who win it. Yeah.
Guys, what are you looking for? Guys, go to Wrestling Academy. There's more because I'm going to pull up some of the men and women involved. Guys, as you know by now, I pull up this website a ton, but we're going to keep doing that. You have to go to this website now. Momentarily, it'll be all over the screen. I will scroll the link. And again, there is so much great talent, legends who are supporting this amazing, amazing project of one Jacques Rougeau's. And here are some of the men involved. As you could see, some of the young participants who were involved in this one-of-a-kind stellar tournament. Here we go.
Wow. And the talent is so hot this year because it's a 3rd year and everybody became believers now. People didn't think that they were going to get the $10,000 last year and they get the trips. And like he said, Jake, they went to train 3 months at the Nightmare Factory. That was a gift that was given to be trained by Billy Gunn, QT Marshall, and Cody Rhodes, who was the main event of WrestleMania. But they were trained by him 3 days a week for 3 months. Could you imagine? And a lot of these wrestlers, and Abby, a lot of these wrestlers, I'm telling you, like 30 wrestlers out of 34, if I'm going to be honest, or 33. 30 out of 33 in my book are ready for WWE. So it's like, so they're all right close. It's just a matter of they didn't meet the right people or they weren't at the right place. And I'm hoping to give them a platform to eventually do that. And even last year was so amazing because QT Marshall gave us the chance for AEW, when they came to Canada, they were taking all my winners of Wrestling Academy, putting them in the dressing room in a place where there's 20,000 people, and then with legends. And so this contest, Wrestling Academy, is a dream for a lot of them, but it's a passion for me and my girlfriend. And we're just having a great time. I thank you, Avi, for letting me talk about this. And one thing, Avi, I want to say that's really special this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be the first time that we're going to be broadcast. You know, we're always broadcast on YouTube. You can go check the first 2 shows of last year. And a week later, after our show, the 28th of September, we're going to be broadcast 1 week later, because we edit things, we correct the mistakes, and we make it a nice product for YouTube. But once it's done, but for the first time since 1945, I think, we're going to be live on a radio station. They're going to broadcast. Wow. So you're not going to see the wrestling, but you're going to hear Gino Brito, Raymond, and Tony Gattilio and Eric Young do the commentaries of the show on a radio. Or if you're going in your car, I always say if you're going in your car, you can listen to the show. But now it's like CKVL.ca. You could go on your laptop and you'll be able anywhere around the world to listen to Wrestling Academy live.
First time in 80 years. First time in 80 years.
Amazing.
So
that
is
is
incredible.
Amazing.
I want to pull up the women as well, guys. Here, take a look at the women involved here. And Jacques, I want to tell you something. As someone who was able to transition from one career to another as well, I did that by paying my dues. And if I didn't pay my dues as a writer, and believe me, there were plenty of baloney blowouts in that career as well. And the old, when when I was a youngster, I couldn't afford the old protein shake. I used to do the orange juice and tuna fish, the old-fashioned way. But man, when you pay your dues, it makes the reward that much more special when you pay your dues, doesn't it? And your students are doing that right now, but they're doing that in a safe place, because guys, Gino Brito, Jacques Rougeau, Raymond Rougeau, these are legends. You're looking at people that are going to teach you the art of pro wrestling the right way.
And I was listening to was it Joe there? What was his name that was on the show today?
Joe Smith. Yeah.
Joe Smith. I loved him so much because I could relate to him, because there's so much more of just going in the dressing room and dribbling and showing them how to dribble a ball.
Right.
There's when to dribble, and there's why not to dribble, and the reasons why. So those guys that have experience, they don't only just show the map and the ropes, they explain why. And the best way you could learn from a guy, even the guy who was I'm so sorry, that was teaching karate, the last guy that was on with it.
Jamie.
Jamie, he's such a veteran. So what happened? Oh, Jamie, sorry. So what I'm saying is, like, you teach those guys the moves, but you also teach them when to do them, why to do them. And so those explanations that we give to the kids are so much more valuable than any course you could take of the actual sport itself. So like, you can't. That's where I guess they say you can't buy experience, And you, Jamie and Joe, that I was so amazed by the show tonight, because I looked at you guys and I said, wow, these guys are like me in wrestling. We're teaching. We're like, we have an expression say, we're teaching them the ropes. And and that's what you guys are doing in your sports, and I think it's so much. It's worth so much for society and for the kids.
Jamie,
I agree. Earlier when you were talking about it, I was thinking, when people come and say thank you, it's great, but there's nothing like seeing somebody a couple years later, and maybe they're not taking your course anymore, but all of a sudden their chin's up. And whatever it was they were dealing with, they might not be dealing with it exactly the same way, right? And they'll tell you thank you too, but you might never see them again. And those are things, that's why we do it.
Does it ever happen to you guys where someone older comes back and tells you, do you guys know what you did for me in my life? How much you impacted me?
I was about to say something like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it happened to me that someone older came in back and told me, but I will tell you something.
Yeah.
I've seen kids that I taught something, and I saw that they learned it.
Mm-hmm.
They understood it, and that's a reward.
Yes,
because
right.
now they're doing it now subconsciously. They're doing it because they know how and they know why. And you look at that and say, hey, that's a trophy. Because you know that you brought something to that kid that helped them in life.
Jamie, you have an incredible website. What do you think of Jacques? Because right now, before you answer that question, my friend, I want to pull up the women who are involved in this. Because first off, when you look at this website, there's a lot of substance. But when I say style, that's a compliment because you can see how professional these photos are. You can see how professional, how much time Jacques puts into every single detail.
Natalie.
Natalie, yeah.
It's all Natalie.
This is a work of art, right? I mean, look at this, Jamie. Now here are the women, Jacques.
Look at this first one, Rhea Von Slasher, the first one.
Right.
She is. I met her out west this summer. I went to see some shows, and all these girls are amazing. But it's like I don't want to describe one or the other, but I've all met them through Canada, going to wrestling shows. And oh my God, like last year, Zoe Hager, the one with the pink right there, she is a tiger. The one, Riley Rose, she's a young. All these, they all have talent, so it's amazing to see these girls. But if you have a chance, guys, I'm telling you, it's free. Wait a week after the 28th of September and go start following Wrestling Academy. You're gonna have so much fun because the most important thing of all this show is like, for me, is like there's no sex, there's no drugs, there's no middle fingers, there's no tables, there's no chairs, there's no swearing. I bring students, I bring schools that I go teach bowling in schools, and then I have the principal get buses and bring them to the show. And there's going to be 525 people. There's going to be about, I'd say, 250 kids at the age of 4 to 10 years old. And it's all family orientated. So we build this credibility. We show women in the show for what they can do and not what they look like.
Right.
And it's so this show is so amazing. It's almost like a Walt Disney Soleil kind of show, so it's like so if you have a chance and you have kids at home and you want them to, because some have how do you say that, the pre-ideas about
preconceived notions,
preconceived notions, and so if you have that, put them aside and come and watch my show. And when you finish watching my show, you're gonna go like, wow, this is almost like. And the fun part about this competition is all the kids that I go get, the companies I go meet, and I go bring them to the shows. 75% of the people that I go meet in the companies and the schools, kids that are so young, they've never been to a wrestling match, so they're all virgins. So when they get to the show, they've never seen a virgin match. So it's easy for me to make a headlock mean something, or make one move mean something, a tackle. When a guy runs into a guy simply and the guy takes the bump, boom, down he goes. Well, if the guy takes a second to sell it on the floor and he gives the time to interact with the crowd, we're starting a brand new era of wrestling again, where we started, the more it's different, the more it's the same. And so now I have a chance. I bring all these young people that never saw a show. So I use my experience of 45 years. I tell everybody, all the talent gets on Zoom with me, and they're so excited. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I say, whoa, guys. Whoa, less is more. Well, do this. And when, like the guy who receives the drop kick 2 feet in the face there, want to make sure that he doesn't get up before the guy who gave it.
Because it makes the person who drop kicks him look weaker as a result.
Exactly, and it doesn't mean anything anymore. But when my shows, when a guy gives a drop kick, the guy who gave the drop kick, he gets back up. He has about 5, 6, 10 seconds to interact with the crowd and communicate. And if it's a good guy, he'll turn around to people and go, "Yeah, come on!"
Yeah.
And then if it's a bad guy who does a big badass move, then the baby face stays down and he sells it good. Then the heel could turn around and like, look at me now.
How about
and
that?
It's like, and he gets that eye-to-eye contact with them, showing the talent that the best contact you have is eye to eye.
So
and if you look at the people, and the guy who just received a bad shot or a big bump or something gives the time for the other one to interact with the crowd, and it makes it so much easier to create a good Joker and Batman kind of match there. The good and the bad. And
yes, sir.
That's something we can all understand and relate to. And Jamie, Jacques comes from wrestling royalty, and he's trained many of the best. He's participated on the grandest stage, and I love being able to hear these stories. What I want our viewers to do now, I call you guys the engine that makes this thing go, because you guys are the engine. I want you all to take screenshots of Jacques' website. He's not asking, I'm asking. Take screenshots of the website. You let me know what part of that website resonated with you. It's kind of like a homework assignment. Listen, I used to teach history. I miss teaching. So give me a break, guys. Do this for me. Do this for me.
He went
Okay?
to reports.
Yeah. Put those phones to use like Jamie's doing now. Screenshot your favorite part of the site. I'll send it to Jacques. You'll give him feedback about what you really enjoyed and then start investing in this Wrestling Academy because you think this tournament's hot. Wrestling Academy tournament, guys, it's coming up very soon, and I guarantee you, if you offer a few minutes of your time, it'll turn into a few hours, and you'll be thankful that Jacques was able to bestow upon you such great information about this tournament because, again, who doesn't root for the next big star? Who doesn't root for the next big
And
wrestling
Avi,
star?
let me tell you something, Avi, about wrestling. There's something about professional wrestling. I'm talking about guys from karate, football players, baseball players, every sport.
Even basketball. The Undertaker was a basketball player. Yeah.
They were always impressed, like at a WrestleMania or something, when they come backstage and see the rest. Everybody likes wrestling when it's well done. It's part of, and so I'm saying now to all the families out there that have good values, that bring your kids to this, show your kids this show. And I guarantee you one thing. My father was my hero when I was young. When my father finished wrestling at the Montreal Forum, I was like 8, 9 years old. I would run to the car after the show in front of all the other kids who were 5 kids. I'd run first to make sure that I was sitting beside him in the front of the car because I wanted to hug his arm when I was going back home because he was my hero. And I'm saying that, and I remember that now. I'm 65 years old. I remember that now like it was yesterday. So if you bring your kids now to a nice environment, a clean environment, in 40 years, in 20 years, whether it's your grandsons or granddaughters or kids, they're going to come up to you one day. You're going to be 80 and they're going to be 50, and they're going to come up to you and say, "Dad, do you remember when you brought me to watch Jacques Rougeau's Wrestling Academy? What a great time we had." Because life is all about spending time together, sharing moments. And my show that I'm doing, that's what I'm so proud of, is giving good moments and good memories for families.
And you're doing that wholeheartedly. Guys, you're going to be seeing more of Jacques perhaps with yours truly, maybe even outside the tournament. You never know. But in the tournament, guys and gals, the TCAN Celebrity Tournament, Jacques has drawn Mr. Buster Douglas. We'll give you dates about those matchups. Round 2 for the TCAN Celebrity Tournament kicks off September 28th with our first match. 1 match every Saturday. It'll be running all the way to the late spring. Jacques might be up with Buster in October, maybe in March.
I don't know if this is good or bad one-on-one. You know, I haven't really agree. I'm a little concerned one-on-one. It's a little.
Any Jacques, any message you want? Because I know a lot of our luminaries and celebrities watch the show either live or the next day or the week. Any message for Mr. Buster Douglas?
Yeah, you know what? I want everybody to give Buster a fair chance. And if he's better than me that night, then choose him. And I hope that he's entertaining. I hope he teaches me things. Because you remember from the first start when you put this together, my dream was to be with Sugar Ray Leonard. Because Sugar Ray Leonard was my hero when he came to Montreal against Roberto Duran, and was no mas, the second fight when I always loved Sugar Ray Leonard. And so I just hope that when I get on the screen with Buster Douglas, that I'm gonna fall in love with what he did. I don't know that person. I don't know what he did. Sure. I hope today he's doing good. I hope he's helping people, and whoever the people choose, it's gonna be fine with me. I'm just looking forward. I'm a little afraid. I'm scared one-on-one. I'd rather 2 out of 3, but but one-on-one is very. You really blew my mind last week when you said the first time. You said this next one is gonna be one-on-one. And
Jacques, I felt Jamie. I felt like such a heel.
I swear I got emotional, like scared, and because I don't know the man, and the unknown is always scary. So I don't know how intelligent he is. I don't know how bright he is. I don't know how nice he is. I don't know nothing about him.
So what you're saying essentially is like there's no cushion with a triple threat. There's a cushion because 2 advance. This is the best person moving on, essentially. Yeah.
So that's maybe why I'm scared. Maybe that's why I'm scared.
Well, guys, again, you're going to learn a lot from Buster and Jacques. And at the end of the day, you guys, I know how this sounds, but you guys are the winners because you're going to benefit from the knowledge of 2 great legends, Jacques and Buster, guys. I love that. Hey, you've been on for such a long time, and I appreciate that, man. I want to say this live, guys. You maybe don't know this, but I'll say it without getting too detailed. Jacques' a very dear friend. What you see on camera is what you see off camera with this man. He only knows how to be real. And I want to tell you, I appreciate you being a big part of my life, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. Sometimes it plays for you, sometimes it plays against you. I remember my mom used to tell me so many times that you gotta learn to turn your tongue 7 times before you talk, because I'm a guy who reacts right away. There's no
Right.
gray zone. And sometimes I put my foot in my mouth, because I got into trouble sometimes because I reacted too fast. My father was the same, so it's his fault. But anyway, I'll let to say that. So there's good sides and bad sides. But the one good side about it is, which I appreciate you telling me that, is every time I speak with someone, they always speak of me after. They always say, whatever Jacques tells you, it's how he feels.
Yeah.
And that means the world to me.
I love that. Well, my friend, you have a blessed night. May Natalie as well. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Green Room.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Jamie. I wish you good luck. I wish you good luck. And congratulations on what you're doing. And keep doing it.
You too. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have a great night, my friend.
Thank you.
Guys, a legendary human being, Jacques. Jamie, he's an incredible person, and he could teach you a lot. And if you sit and listen to this man, you get better because you could see he cares about you. It's not like he just has this knowledge and he wants to help you because he's so wise. He wants you to absorb what he has. He wants you to absorb what he can teach. And you're a teacher, and you know that. That's what makes Jacques special. And I've always said this publicly. I feel like Jacques can win this whole thing. You see him in our video packages, the outro, the intro. He's always in my top 10. Fans have them in his top 10. I think Jacques could win this because he can not steal people's hearts, but he could win their hearts by being genuine. And that's very hard to do in the virtual arena, but he does it so well because he cares. Like I said, he can't be fake if he tries because he's real. He's a very real guy. What I'm going to do, my friend, is I'm going to take a swig of water. We're going to announce more matchups. Our viewers are going to visit Wrestling Academy, and they're going to send us screenshots of what they like. And then you and Howard Collado, and soon to be our engine members on screen soon, are going to analyze what we just watched. And then we're going to draw some other matchups, my friend, and see who faces who in round 2. Howard, Jamie, take it away, my friends.
Jimmy!
Howard, how have you been, my friend?
Good, man. I've just been watching and taking all these amazing matches in. And speaking of amazing match, you got Dan Jansen and Tom Holland, bro.
Yeah. There's a lot that I probably need to research on both sides. That could go different directions, but you can't even remotely plan it because the topic could change anything, the dynamic, any part of the match at any given moment. So there's a lot going on there for sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat my Wheaties and do my homework.
Definitely. I mean, look, you had a great showing with Eric Roberts, and it was cool to. I mean, one of my highlights is watching you talk about your one of your senseis or one of the admirers that you worked with, which was I forget what his name was, but that was interesting because I feel like so much of these matches are going to be about moments like that, being able to just open yourself up, and. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, everything that Jacques just got done talking about was in storytelling, if you will. You know what I mean? But the interactions that people have, they just change up quickly and they go a little bit sideways. Hey, Howard.
Yeah. Lena. Good to have you guys on. Yeah, we have an amazing engine in the comment section there on YouTube tonight, and they've been just putting in some amazing comments, amazing perspectives. It's been really cool. I think Julio Negron had a great one about orange juice and tuna fish. It's the breakfast of champions. He had a great comment there. But man, what a night, Mr. Klein! You and your amazing machine gun of intros, man.
Oof, guys. Well, you know what, guys? I want to bring in Chad, and I want to bring in Brian. I want to bring in Ramon. We call them the engine that makes this thing go, and I'm going to ask them a question. I'm going to ask Jamie and Howard a question. Guys, please check out Loot Academy. That's Wrestling Academy. You could see the site down there. Check it out. Screenshot what you like about it. Send it to me, and I'll send it to Jacques. Let me know what you like about that site because there's a lot to like. Let's bring in Chad. Let's bring in Ramon and Brian. How are you guys? The engine that makes this thing go.
Hey, everybody.
Love the energy. Love the
How you
energy.
guys doing? I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Just being here, it just brightens my day every time. Thank you for what you do, Avi. We love you.
Love you too, man. Ramon, Chad, Brian, Jamie, and Howard. We're at 2 hours and 36 minutes, and I'm going to tell you guys what we have next Saturday. We have a preview show. So we're going to be previewing all the matchups and unpacking them. But there's a but. Because I don't mind the danger zone. I don't mind recording real-time moments instead of doing something behind the scenes, because why not? Let our fans vote on the following. Johnny McKinney, Travis, Allison, would you prefer to unpack every matchup next Saturday night, as Howard and myself and Giselle, anybody who wants to show up here, we're going to preview all the matchups next Saturday. That could happen as soon as the show begins next Saturday, or it could happen in the second half of next week's broadcast, because I am a big basketball fan, and I was happy when the Bulls won their first in 91. And I was pleased when they won their second in 92. Jamie knows, from Illinois.
Yes.
But there was something special about doing it 3 times. There was something special about that three-peat. So guys and gals and pals, let's put it to a vote at 2 hours and 37 minutes. Do you want to draw all the names that remain, and there's a bunch now, or do we do this one more time next Saturday, but it'll be only us. And we're going to get through every match as soon as the show begins. What do you all prefer? Do you want to wait another week for the rest of the matchups? Because remember, some of you have new matchups that you drew. Reshuffling the deck. You have to watch the black box for that. I made that announcement. There are still about 26 matchups to announce. I'm going to ask the engine, the audience, Phil, Lena, Sharon, Allison, Travis, Naomi. Your word matters. DJ Solo's here. We have Allison. Trying to see a lot. Consult KP now. There's a lot of you out here. Let us know what you want. Phil says next Saturday. I'm going to ask Jamie Sparling, the man of the hour, who found out he's taken on an Olympian and, guys and gals, a great film director, an award-winning film director, a legend, Tom Holland. Jamie, do we pack up our bags right now and anticipate yet another bonanza next Saturday with new names being announced, or do we do it right now? Jamie Sparling.
Look, I'm in either way. All right, this has been a fabulous night. However, I think if the fans are saying next weekend, I mean, we were just on fire. Maybe we should let it simmer.
Yeah, look at this, because I mean, Allison says next Saturday sounds good. Lena, next weekend. Travis, I vote for next week. Naomi, do it now. I respect that. Naomi,
sure, Naomi.
I respect your comment, Naomi, because I feel like I want to do it now. But then the other part of me says, wait a minute. Do you really want to appreciate this? Do you want to appreciate the fact that once that countdown clock ticks, 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 and those final seconds appear before you, and then that intro is done, I pop in, bring in the gang, and right away we start unpacking envelopes. Do you want to wait for that? Because it's one hell of a thing to look forward to. Anticipation, guys and gals, can be the best friend of complacency. Let us know what you think. Howard Collado, your thoughts?
To kind of piggyback off of that, anticipation is the spice of life. So I would say keep on building.
Kind of like what I said better, but that's okay. I'm not
don't always have the perfect words, but yeah, I think building the momentum, building the fuego, so to speak, building the fire, would be a really good, engaging thing, I think.
Well, I'm going to ask Naomi. Naomi, do you want to compromise? Naomi, do you want me to pick maybe one match right now? We'll close it out with one match that I unveil. Is that fair? It's a good compromise. Naomi, are you okay with that? Because we listen to all of you. It seems like we might go ahead, based on what the engine tells us, we might go ahead and make this a trilogy. And next week, we open up with all the matchups announced, I guarantee you. Or do we do it now? Let's find out what the engine says. Brian.
Honestly, I'm telling you right now, we've got this feeling, and I just want to keep it going. I want to do this next Saturday, just like Star Wars did, and make it the same way. We're talking hit him with that Return of the Jedi and make this place just roll.
Oh. Ramon?
I like Brian.
Listen, this is a fantastic occasion to give the people what they want. You got to give the people what they want. If they want next Saturday, let's do it next Saturday. I say let's do it next Saturday. Trilogy. Let's do it.
I like the energy, Chad.
I say let's have the three-peat happen and make it next Saturday.
Yes,
I guess,
Chad.
are we okay with
Are we doing a hat trick?
Can we draw a matchup right now in real time?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Here.
Yeah.
Do a little drum roll. Do a drum roll. Do a drum roll.
Boys, this is going to be a hat trick. Are you ready?
Yeah.
A triple
Yeah, of
threat,
course.
guys. We're going to close out the show with one match. This is for Naomi. We appreciate you. We definitely listen to you, the engine. Triple threat. Guys, tune in next week because there'll be about, I'm counting them here, about 27 matchups announced next Saturday.
That's a lot.
Another top 50 NBA player of all time. Not too many of those running around. Officially on that list, that's not opinion. Top 50, Hall of Famer, champion, Mr. Jerry Lucas, former New York Knicks legend, Jerry Lucas.
Go.
A man who actually memorized the phone book. I mean, that's legit. He's a genius.
That's true.
He will be facing. Now, would you look at this? We haven't had this happen yet. Would you look at this? Another heavy hitter. Guys and gals, our first ever rematch, sort of. Bronson Pinchot.
Oh, man.
You guys remember him as Balky in Perfect Strangers?
Yes, cousin Balky.
Based in Chicago, of course, was that show. I used to love their set because it reminded me of a place I wanted to live in when I was a kid. We all have those, right? When you watch sitcoms when you were kids, didn't you check out the decor or maybe a certain exterior of a place and you're like, I want to live there. That's where I want to live.
I want to live in the Full House house. That's where I want to live.
San Francisco.
Ooh, yeah, Silver Spoons.
Silver Spoons, yeah. Ricky Schroeder.
Yes, sir.
How about you, guys? Ramon, Brian, Chad? Chad, even if it's a show we don't even know, was there ever a show you watched as a kid and you were like, I kind of like that place?
The Jeffersons, because I'm soon going to be moving on up.
Hey, yo.
Respect for that answer.
I think Chad's got the upper row here beat. I got you there. You're right. Brian, your thoughts?
Personally, I always wanted to be at the house with Al Bundy.
Married with Children,
even just having him as a dad, can you imagine that? Oh my God.
Well, maybe somehow if you make it to the finals with David Faustino, the finals could take place on the set of Married with Children. How about that?
Oh, would that be sick? I love it.
That's the stuff dreams are made of.
I'm afraid though that Al Bundy would make fun of my weight. I don't know.
No. Guys and gals, Ramon, your thoughts?
I mean, I'm a bit younger than y'all, so I grew up on Nickelodeon shows. So iCarly was the big building that I wanted to live in as a kid.
Oh, that's cool. And guys, remember again, a very easy concept to get behind. Next Saturday night, September the 21st, very important date for me. It's another year where my dad is here on planet Earth, living, breathing, and that means the world to me. And maybe one day I can get him on the show, even though he doesn't own a computer or internet and doesn't want it. But maybe we can get that old stubborn man I love so much to appear on the show once. Like I said, he's such a big NBA guy. When I told him about all the luminaries we had last week, his response was just, Rick Mahorn was there. I want Rick Mahorn. I want to talk to Rick Mahorn. My dad liked those physical players who just got, kind of like those bullies in hockey, right? Those rough and tough pound him. Not that Rick Mahorn was a bully, but he played within the rules. But he was a very physically demanding player. Guys, I'm going to announce the matchup because right now we have a rematch. It's Jerry Lucas versus Bronson Pinchot, and the third in this.
Who is it?
Can you imagine if it's, it can't be Lou Ferrigno. He already drew McMahon and Mick Foley.
Yep.
He was in the original matchup with Bronson and Jerry Lucas. Oh, my God. This is going to be real tough. Bronson's really intelligent, guys. Philosophical. Jerry Lucas memorizes phone books. And then you have, I'm just going to show it because another favorite.
Dakin Matthews.
Let's go.
Wow.
Is it fair to say that this is going to be a real tough one to call?
That's heavy hitting.
Wow.
That is going to be a banger. I cannot
I'm
wait for
going to
that.
tell Bronson and also Jerry, and I love them both. Anytime Dakin is there, so am I. I'll buy a ticket to hear that man speak. That's how I feel.
God.
Jamie and I were just talking about him earlier on the phone, actually, about Mr. Dakin Matthews and how we'd love to have Dakin Matthews, guys. He has a show called Masterclass. You might see Jamie on there, Howard, the gang. Again, the talk shows are debuting. They're re-debuting live. They will re-debut the moment a TCAN Celebrity Tournament second-round matchup concludes. Immediately afterwards, you might get it in the dojo, a Howard show. The Engine might have their shows. You're going to get the celebrity talk shows, guys, as well, from London to you. So much great content, all live. and we're going to be talking about things that matter. Thank you so much, guys. Again, we're near at the 3-hour mark, and there's a good reason why I'm excited about tonight's show. Immediately following the reveal was an incredible conversation with Jacques Rougeau. I mean, that man, you want to talk about having your passion do your work for you? That man is passionate. That man leads with his passion. He leads with his passion. He doesn't care about the what ifs or that he leads with his passion. He does not doubt himself. I know that sometimes it might seem like that because he's such a humble guy, but he's a very confident man. He's a very humble human being, a very kind person. Got to know him really well. Before we end this show, guys and gals, do we do another one or do we not? I don't know. Do we do another one?
Let's do one more.
One more.
It's like
here.
Christmas, man. I just want one more gift. Come on.
Oh, a little piece of
Brian.
Put it out there.
That's it. But please, come on, give us all one. I mean,
Yeah, right. One more. Come on.
You got to now. You have to.
Yeah, now he's going to take his time.
Sorry, guys. My bad.
I would. I meant it in a nice way. Sorry. We're all waiting nicely.
It's a pretty big one here.
Oh, yes.
Triple threat again. We have a lot of number 3 cards.
That's right. That's right.
We saw him last week.
Uh-oh.
He is an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Golden Globe winner. And he doesn't let it get to his head because he's a sweet person. Guys and gals, the legendary Bruce Davison.
Yes. That's going to be great.
Okay.
It's the last matchup we're announcing. We'll be facing another great speaker. Could win it all. WE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase.
Oh, man. Yes.
Really good match.
Interesting clash of styles there.
And who's the third that's going to join the party here? Love that John McClane line. A lot of Chicago stuff I'm bringing up today. All right, let's see here.
Yippee-ki-yay.
I don't know how I can say this because we don't rank people based on resumes here. But if we were, Bruce Davison's got one hell of a resume. But can anyone match the man who's regarded as one of the greatest stage and film actors of all time, guys? Stacy Keach.
Oh.
That is a nice.
It's tough to beat Mike Hammer. So
a man who Brian Dennehy says he learned from. I mean, there you go, the late Brian Dennehy. Stacy Keach, guys and gals. Stacy Keach. Let's get a reaction here because this is big. Stacy Keach is going to go up against Bruce Davison and Ted DiBiase. What a match.
Huge match. Huge.
That might be one of the biggest ones we've announced.
Oh, it is. I mean, first of all, you got the $1 Million Man.
Do you imagine that? Can you picture this? Can you picture these 3 gentlemen having a conversation? Do you know how much we could learn from these 3?
That's what I was thinking.
Of course.
I mean, without a doubt.
So much knowledge we can soak in from these 3. Guys, Jesse Ventura is going to have a new draw next Saturday. A new draw. I'm going to shake things up. Okay. I'm also going to shake things up. Brian's going to have a new matchup. Ramon's going to have a new matchup. Chad's going to have a new matchup, guys and gals. Howard has JW in round number 2. Before we depart, Jamie, let's start with Jamie. Maybe you can knock some sense into Howard. He keeps poking that bear that is JW, and right now things are getting a little bit personal. Any advice for Howard Collado, Jamie Sparling?
Howard, I love you. You're a lion heart, brother. Okay? Sometimes you get a little excited, okay? And we know this. It happens to me, too. I'm not here to point fingers. You know, Jacques, a very intelligent man. We talked about maybe taking a couple breaths before you say something. You know, I don't know, buddy. I don't know. Just you don't have to poke the bear. That's just my opinion.
Ramon, Chad, Brian, you got Howard in front of you right now. Anything you want to let him know? Because I think of the inspirational speech that Apollo Creed's manager had in Rocky II when he told him, "Let it go." I saw what that guy had, and you gave him everything you got, and he kept coming and kept coming. Let it go. Apollo didn't listen. Maybe he should have. We know what happened. But this is real life. Chad, Ramon, Brian, your thoughts. Please direct it to Howard.
Well, You know, Howard, one thing is he says let it go. This is something, you know, unfortunately, I think he went a little bit over the line, and I don't think JW can let it go. But I do honestly think that, you know, I do think your mind is in the right spot, but you did cross the line a little bit. I think you need to find a way to make amends real fast with JW before it gets any more serious than what it is. You're a brother of mine. I don't want to see you get hurt. But I mean, you're playing with fire now, brother. And I'm starting to get to know JW a little bit. And I'm getting afraid for you, my friend. So just be very careful in what you do in the next few weeks and try and get your way out of this, my man. It's about the best I can tell you.
Howard's going to address all of us in a moment. Ramon?
I know that you're a very passionate person. You have the spirit of competition in you every single time. I see it every time you're on screen. But just, you really gotta, you just gotta calm down sometimes, man, because this has gone a bit too far. And I want to see you both shaking hands at the end of this. I don't want this to get to a point where, like, bridges are burned and no one can learn from anything. Like, I just want to see you both come out of this in one piece. I don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't want to see anything this bad happen, man. You just keep things in the spirit of competition and don't let it go any further.
Brian?
You know, I think William Shakespeare said it best. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and is heard no more. You know, Howard, you boast a big game, and I know you can come up with it, but you two used to be friends, right? So what's going on, man? I mean, just the hardest thing to do is just to breathe. And I think what you need to do is remember that sometimes you are sometimes your worst enemy. And I think my mother said it the best, and that was, methinks thou doth protest too much.
Howard never met JW in his life until JW met Howard here on the green room many moons ago in our original tournament. They faced each other. It was a nail biter. After back then, a 5-month marathon of round number 1, Howard squeaked into round 2 on the last night of round 1 against JW. Jamie was there that night. We remember that night.
Wow.
Howard, since then, JW disappeared. Came back last year. Realized that you are talking about how this is the foundation that you built. He feels like he was here in the beginning. You guys are both best friends that I've known separately. You back in college, JW about 15 years ago when I helped him with his screenplay. This goes back as far back as the green room began, but moving forward and not looking backward might be the only way you can salvage some sort of hope as it pertains to winning the whole thing, which is where your mind should be at anyway. Howard, you just saw the incredible energy we had before us. I mean, everyone from Buff Bagwell to Jim McMahon to Mark Rypien to Jamie Sparling to, Jacques Rougeau, Kelly Packard. The list goes on and on. They were all here. Jeremy Levin. You're part of this. It's a very small, exclusive field. The Engine are too. I implore you to think before you respond, but respond right now as we cut to our outro momentarily. The floor is yours.
One of the beautiful things about tonight has been this the spirit of competition, this camaraderie that I've been seeing for the last 2 hours, close to 3. There was a line that I feel JW crossed. And then I took that line and I went 20 steps past it. I tried to plead with him last time I was on screen with him, and he wasn't hearing it. I asked you, Avi, if you could talk to him, and the impression I get is that he's made up his mind with whatever he wants to do, and what he wants to do, I don't know. Do I look behind my shoulder? Do I look behind my back when I walk? Yeah, I do now. And I know that's on me. And I've made my bed. But sometimes, I guess I gotta throw myself in that fire. Sometimes feel alive. So JW, if you're listening, I can't say sorry anymore, because those words mean nothing to you. So if you're gonna come at me, bro, I can't run away no more. I'm here.
And we'll be here next Saturday night, guys and gals. Jamie Sparling, thoughts?
Always poking the bear.
He's still doing it.
Still doing it, and all of a sudden, we're supposed to feel sorry for you now. You're gonna go into combat and whatnot. Why you gotta poke?
Look, I don't want any empathy. I'm just stating the facts as they are. He's not willing.
I'm not going to let you find some way to self-destruct so that JW gets some sort of buy into round 2. I want you to give it your all, because if you give it your all, per the stipulation of this match, I'm out of this tournament. I want to see you be the very best, because you can eliminate not 1 but 2 top dogs in this thing if you beat JW.
You don't want to win?
Yeah, I want to win.
Because Howard, I'm coming. I don't ever make it about me. Maybe during the tail end of a broadcast for about 30 seconds, but I'm coming to win this thing. And if you got a shot of getting me out there and eliminating me by beating JW, so I never even face an Antonio Sabato or Scott Winters, I would do it if I were you. I would. Because at the end of the day, hands and hugs and kisses and embraces will occur. We're going to do all that. But in the spirit of competitive camaraderie, be the best that you can be, and be that and only that, and no other extracurricular activities will make you great. But this place will. Trust me. If you need some inspiration, all you have to do is watch the following. Guys and gals and pals, we're going to be on screen watching this 3-minute outro, and we're going to depart, because next Saturday night, September 21st, we're going to preview and unpack the matchups, but first, we're going to unpack them. We're going to unpack 26 matchups, guys and gals, that have not been announced. We're going to do it live, and then September 28th, night 1, round 2, who will it be? Stay tuned. Check out all our posts on Facebook. From now on, Saturday night's Green Room, as it was tonight and last week, will air exclusively on the YouTube channel that you're watching now and our Twitch. Thank you again for Brian, Ramon, Chad, Jamie Sparling, Howard Collado, Mark Rypien, Mark Metcalf, Jeremy London, Kelly Packard. List keeps going. Buff Bagwell, Jim McMahon, Joe Smith, and the great Jacques Rougeau. I am Avi Klein. Thank you for your time. We are out.
Obsession's going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about?
But I just wanted to make sure that he was all right. So I sat and talked with him for maybe 15 minutes or so. Mainly he talked. And I just sat there, I listened.
right? Understanding what, instead of what's wrong with you, what has been done to you. Because then you understand the behaviors, right?
My life. So I'm looking forward to the transition to some degree, and it'll be interesting to see what happens and what the future holds once the transition is made.
Yeah, it was really humor as opposed to comedy. Comedy, you're playing for the laughs, but the humor comes out of the moment and the characters and the situation.
Hey, it means the world to me. The man with one friend is the wealthiest man alive. Everybody knew my family, you know, and they were very aware that where I came from.
The Red Sox were, for me, a connection to my father, and now has become a connection to my son.
To clean, wipe surface with a wipe. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Very impressionable and already mixed up in that culture, myself and my close friends that I was all associated with.
You know, and the director wants you to explode with anger, but you want to, you know, play like inner rage and stuff like that. So it's, you know, you sometimes you really have to fight for what you want.
Led Zeppelin, you know, they are the influence for all the other bands that most people talk about. And
like Borgnine someday, and have the younger guys look forward to meeting me and working with me. And I'd love to be in this business for the rest of my life.
You get people arguing about one point because they heard some reporter say it, and they'll swear to it.
5th, because that is the cutoff date for the discount. So we look forward to seeing you this year at the 53rd reunion at the Cauliflower Alley Club.
When John was talking about his agent,
right,
I was saying, gee, maybe he has CAA too.
I think that a good talk show host has something called soul, and the soul doesn't go away.
The pedals fixed in the car where they were long pedals, and you know, and he had a lot of cushions on the seat to see over the dash.
Yeah.
You know, and
I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You made me seem important in Montreal, and I thank you.
And
very
you're the
much.
only. Is this where we're going, JW? Huh? Is this where we're going? Is this really where we're going to be going?
Have to have a set time where they need to end up from point A to point B, and I am what is standing in between.
Coming from the background I came from, I've learned from Joe that the sky's the limit. There's nothing that could stop you. That's why I'm probably the most competitive person with myself.
I mean, this is something I'm really proud of. That night I came home, I told my family I'll never come less than third place again.
And I get a little more personal. I'd say, you know, why is it that when we look at everyone else, we think that we're above them? And when I was ready, I called Paul and say, I'm ready to talk to the guys in WWE.
They dubbed them the Naughty Nine, and he blamed them for all their infractions and the university's sullied reputation.
It's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that itch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, you gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you.
You know what? Maybe one of the world's problems will get solved by listening to this show.
I'm gonna win this whole thing. Watch.
I know you are, Tom. I know you are.